Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Thunder Pod. I'm your host, Billy Sullivan, joined as always by the lovely and talented Dave Alinovich.
It's good. It was good.
To go over the comings and goings of professional wrestling of the day. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about SmackDown, which is not. I know we don't usually cover that because it's so early in the week by comparison to us, but it was such a substantial thing that happened on SmackDown. So we'll go over that a little bit today, and then we're gonna go into Raw, talk about what happened on Raw or what didn't happen on Raw mostly, and then if you guys can sit through your vegetables, you'll get your dessert. We'll do Dynamite then after Raw. So Dave, what'd you think of the wrestling week? Just general thoughts.
It's busy. There's a lot going on leading up to even more going on. We're recording this the morning of SmackDown, so we're recording it Friday instead of Thursday. So we have a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. So we had a lot of stuff leading up to the pay-per-view. Like you mentioned on SmackDown, a lot feeding into tomorrow's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Most notably with The Rock. Other than that, it was just a bunch of qualifying matches.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Tiffany Stratton trying to kill people with that world's prettiest moonsault was good at NXT. I don't know what happened to her, but she's like almost killing everybody she hits.
She's going to they crush a lot of throats in that company, or like people like it just happened to Jeff Hardy in a different company, but just trusting yourself to rotate correctly with that little preparation. Yeah, she's going to hurt somebody. And she did.
I would rather take the Ivar moonsault at this point.
Oh, it's brutal.
It's
a big boy.
Tiffany.
It's a big
boy. The fat guy moonsaults are always scary. That's one of my favorite moves in wrestling, just specifically fat guy moonsaults.
Yeah. When they get the high arc, which is...
Like, I don't think Hugh G. Rection, or a.k.a. Hugh Morris, ever actually landed his. I think he missed it every time.
Sure.
But, I think Vader landed it a couple times, and that dude was like 425 or something. But still, I'd still rather do that than Tiffany Stratton. I think, you know what, upon review, I think Jeff Hardy's exploded nose might have been Jeff Hardy's fault.
Go on.
If you watch that match back, that spot, I'm almost positive Jeff Hardy was supposed to get his knees up, and he didn't really, and in trying to, he actually kind of angled his head towards the turnbuckle. So, like,
that makes
I think
sense.
Sammy landed on him. If anybody didn't see, Sammy Guevara did a 450 splash on Rampage this past week, and against in a match against Jeff Hardy, and landed right the fuck on his nose, and it exploded like the bird that Randy Johnson hit with the fastball back in the day. So Jeff Hardy couldn't happen to a better guy. So for get things going for this week,
we're going to start with the Logan Paul match, of course, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're not. We're gonna.
He needs to not be on TV. That match sucked.
It
was real bad.
I just want to get thoughts. I have lots of thoughts on Logan Paul.
He needs to be a special attraction that has Macho Man treatment, where he knows everything he's doing at all times.
It's a matter of, like, if he wants to take the time to get the reps in and do like the little stuff that you need to have a million reps to be good at, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if they're paying him like full time, that's what he should be doing.
Sure.
Working house shows and stuff. But the way he's doing it right now, it doesn't work.
It's showing that he's not doing house shows or doing his reps.
Yeah, it's all the stuff that, like, the in between stuff.
Totally.
Like that makes it look real. And hey, like, I always, people are gonna, like, newbies are always gonna have the thing where, like, somebody does an Irish whip and then they come back together and, like, they get kind of tied up and there's not really a move that was evidence, and like a lack of communication or whatever. That happens with all, like, new wrestlers.
Right.
So he had gets a couple of those, but it's like he doesn't know how to really sell in between stuff.
No.
And like, it's just all the little things that make it feel like a real fight. He's not doing.
No.
He's incredible. Promos are outstanding. He's good on his feet when he talks. He's obviously got a great look.
Right.
And the high spots, insane, awesome.
Yeah.
But like my guy Sidgwick said, he is essentially Shane McMahon cosplaying as Hangman Page. I didn't realize he's doing like 4 of Hangman's moves, so he must just be like watching a lot of Hangman.
Big
matches.
fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So SmackDown this week, the reason I wanted to talk about it at all is because the greatest thing I think that's happened in WWE outside of the return of CM Punk in the last like decade occurred in the final segment of SmackDown this week. The Rock came out with the Bloodline. You guys probably saw it, but just in case, Rock came out with the Bloodline and fully cemented himself. The way that he did it was wonderful. He did the disingenuous Goosebumps thing that Dave has talked about like hating in the past.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. But it was more disingenuous looking. Like you could tell that he was putting it on. And when he came out, he was wearing essentially what was one of the $5,000 shirts that he used to talk about in the 90s all the time, except it was sleeveless now, obviously, because he's a house and he wants to show off those guns. But it was definitely one of those old school $5,000 Rock shirts. And then he did a great bait and switch thing where they were in Utah. And he said, "Oh, we broke a record here." You know, Rock does it. You know how he's been doing that, like the every time he comes out, he's like some kind of a record. The last like 10 years or whatever.
Right.
He talks about social media and breaking records. But then he flipped the switch on him and said, "Well, yeah, we broke a record for the biggest gathering,
the largest indoor record in Utah. I'm sorry, yeah, the largest indoor record in Utah for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen."
Yeah, and I nearly went through the roof. My head almost went through. I jumped off the couch. I was so excited. I never thought we were getting this Rock again. I mean, this is like the dude. This guy, and he fell right back into it. It's perfect. Yeah. Like it was like riding a bike. But this character is why like The Rock became The Rock to begin with. It was this heel character, and he's been so like self-conscious about, or just conscious about his brand lately. And lately meaning like a decade plus, that he won't be the heel in the movies and stuff. Like for him to lean in and do the full ass. He said to a fan in the audience, he turned and said,
I got it line for line if you want.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So you're talking about the fat guy?
Oh yeah.
So apparently off mic, one of the people in the crowd who seemed to be a large man, because The Rock turns to him and says, "You shut your mouth, fatty, or The Rock will come slap the herpes off your lips."
It's him playing. It's The Rock playing the hits, but like the good hits. Like this is the good shit. You know, like
when he was off the cuff like that, he was perfect.
Oh, he's outstanding.
Like from the point he walked out, and just cutting old school Attitude Era promos. I loved it. And then he started actually trying to get back into storyline mode. Yeah. And then like current day Rock showed up, and it's like, oh right,
a little bit.
You don't.
I was still way too fired up.
It was really fun. It was really fun. It's like I don't know. I didn't love any of the new Indiana Jones movies, but it was still cool to see him with the hat on, kind of thing. Yeah, you know,
exactly.
So just that
Crystal Skull, I think, would have been good if it weren't for that goddamn ending. Like,
it was terrible.
I liked it.
Also,
the first 2 acts I liked.
Yeah, he needs more. He wasn't chasing religious artifacts that time, though. That's like his bread and butter.
Aliens, like
but that's not his. That's not his thing.
No.
He's not qualified for that. He's an archaeologist.
But like, speaking of people doing their thing,
yeah,
Rock back in his element. And I had this thought, like, now that he actually is like not a majority owner, but has a pretty big stake in the company, I think.
He's the tippy top. So,
and I know he's on the like head of the board.
The way Conrad Thompson described it was like everybody reports to him. Like Triple H reports to Ari, and then Ari reports to The Rock. So he can, he can kind of, well, he's a board member. So he can kind of do he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
So like, but I think that actually is benefiting us, the fans, because like instead of him trying to like protect his brand, which some of the bloom was off that rose because his movies haven't been doing great lately. So it probably made him a little bit more willing to go this route. But now that he's got like that big a stake in the company, it behooves him to like make the show not suck.
Yes.
So bringing back 1998 Rock and making me jizz in my pants, that I think it's a very pleasant byproduct of The Rock being the boss now.
And the way he did it was exactly the same way he did it back in the day.
Yeah.
Where they tried to make him so beloved, cheer him, blow him kisses, right? And we, as fans, wholly rejected it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And back then it gave us The Rock that became The Rock.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like the same thing happened. Granted, it's a little different because it comes from more of a power position, and you know that I mean, that's why Austin and McMahon was so good. It's like, oh, we have this guy we can identify with battling everybody's boss, right? So now The Rock is everybody's boss.
And he's scary as hell, too, now.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can see. I'm not even thinking about his, like, oh, I was worried about him wrestling or whatever.
Sure.
Now I just, like, oh, it's The Rock. It's
Yeah.
the real Rock. The Rock that, like, I had T-shirts for and stuff back in the day. But he's twice the size, and he's the boss of the company.
Yes.
So, like, it's a great setup for like really having to overcome some odds for Mr.
Totally.
Underdog Cody. Rock did also. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Rock did one more thing that I did want to mention. During his incredible promo, he did one of my favorite things that he used to do back in the day when he turned kind of face, never went all the way, and then like turned back heel and went corporate Rock. People were still trying to do finally The Rock has come back and all smell what The Rock is cooking stuff. And he used to say, hey, it's not sing along with The Rock time. And he did that again. Yeah. I was like, oh, this warms my heart.
It's amazing how last week I hated this with the passion of a thousand
absolutely.
suns. And now
I've never flipped so hard on
I'm
something.
so excited.
I'm 100% in on it. I'm like all in on
because everything they did in this promo has legs for now. I was bummed that I didn't know it was going to happen before. Now I'm like, there's so many
now I'm
good
excited
outcomes.
that I don't know.
Yeah.
And like the tag match thing, like when I was talking about it being like I didn't think that it was like feasible because of money and stuff, but like wait a minute, The Rock's not paying himself. He owns the company.
Yeah.
Like yeah, he might just do that because he's the boss, he's the owner. Like
right.
No, you don't have to pay quote unquote pay The Rock $5 million to work an extra night.
No.
You just got to figure out Roman.
Sure.
I'm like how that's going to go.
And to that point, if he has so much stake in the company, and look at like how Jeff Jarrett has cooled over the years, and like
the white hot up and coming superstar Jeff Jarrett. I think he's doing the best work of his career right now.
But he also thought he was like the unbeatable like Triple H. He was
the Triple H of like TNA.
Sure,
and
he believed that.
Nuts.
And he believed that completely.
Absolutely.
But like maybe The Rock is in the twilight of his career, and he's just gonna out of left field do the right thing.
Well, I mean, good comp though, because Jarrett has also like in his old age. According to everybody that knows the guy and has talked about it publicly, he's a completely different dude than he was 25 years ago. Like he only cares about doing what's right for the company he's working for and for the young performers that he's working with. And like that wasn't Slapnuts back in the day at all. So like Rock, same thing. Like
let's
sometimes
hope
you
so.
just get older and.
I mean, you have less fucks to give. You're the goddamn Rock at this point. Like, what else can you gain?
It was such a savvy move too, going full. I didn't like when he first turned heel. I didn't like the swearing a bunch on Instagram and stuff. But now that he's like pivoted again back to just 98 Rock, baby. I want a black tracksuit to cover his titties up like he had same year. Get that pineapple-shaped head going again. I don't think it's possible, but you can get plugs.
I think he's done with hair.
Get plugs for the pineapple head because I want it all. Big pork chop sideburns.
I think they make sunglasses where the sideburns are attached. Those are more for Elvis, though, but it would fit.
Fuck Elvis. The Rock has the greatest sideburns of all time.
It's fair. It's fair. One thing I'm not loving about this Rock thing, though, is when he is still trying to sell something and he doesn't know how to do it. So he didn't realize that the subsequent promo that he gave after just trash talking the crowd was completely ineffective and nonsensical.
Yeah.
So
there's an inherent thing here that I just decided I'm going to give it grace because it was a screw up from the start. There is a giant hole because there's no way around it besides just kind of pretending it didn't happen.
Right.
Is the Cody coming out on SmackDown and saying, I'm not going to do this at WrestleMania. That's not fixable. No. So we just kind of have to, if we want to enjoy this going forward, we kind of have to turn our brains off a little bit. And with WWE, I'm fine doing that.
Sure.
I'm so happy with the pivot that I'm not going to get pissed about the lack of continuity. But like a lot of these promos and stuff, even with the pivot and with the ignoring of that specific element, they're going to be kind of nonsensical because it was a nonsense thing that happened. And they're still trying to cover up for a big
I'm okay.
giant mess that they made.
I'm totally fine with that, and you see that across the entire brand. Like all of a sudden, Sami Zayn, like they care about him because they're clearly doing something with him. We'll get to him in a minute. Sami. But like, there's a ton of characters that were not visible or clearly had no trajectory to WrestleMania. Now with all the injuries and the pivoting, like it's a total hodgepodge. So exactly
your table is ready, Mr. Gable.
Yeah, we'll get to him too. So really quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but The Rock tried to say the way you get a title match is not by bitching about it. You lose, you brush yourself off, and you try harder the next year. So they're in Utah. I love that he evoked.
See where you're going with this.
I love that he evoked the name of Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, every time
it was really nice to hear. And he's oh, Cody, you lost. You don't get to just jump to the front of the line because you're crying about it. When the Utah Jazz lost, they didn't cry about it. They dust themselves off. What did he say? Something about being men. It doesn't even. I don't even want to read the whole thing.
Some vague nonsense. They kept moving forward.
They kept moving forward. What did the 49ers do after they lost? Did they cry about it? Oh, we want a rematch. No, but they dusted themselves off. And he's like, Cody just cried. No, bitch. Cody won the Royal Rumble.
He won the Royal Rumble. He spent a year getting back to the position that he was.
He did not cry about it.
And by the way, Rock, the Utah Jazz lost, and then a year later. Tried again.
Yeah.
Like they did almost exactly what Cody is doing. So it makes no sense on multiple levels.
No.
You try to get back. You don't just lose one title shot and then be like, wash my hands of this, I guess. Well, actually, Cody did kind of do that in AEW, but it was his own decision.
Totally.
The Codyverse thing. I wanted to get your take on some of the stuff that people are talking about post this Rock heel Rock coming out party. There was a bunch of stuff that a lot of people are reading a ton into. Like when he said, Cody, I think the way he worded it was, Cody's story is about to end. The bloodline story is just beginning. Well, that's the point. Cody finished the story, right? And when he said something like, if you try to stop this from happening, meaning the bloodline and Rock's coming together, or like them having their WrestleMania moment, if you're gonna try to stop that from happening, I'm gonna do everything in my power to kick your ass, essentially. But when he was saying it, he was pointing at Roman.
Yeah.
And then the big one that was memed everywhere when they did the bloodline finger up, Rock did guns up.
The Rock's in the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
He's a Bang Bang Scissor Gang, man. It looked funny, but a lot of people are now. Who knows? People love reading into a ton of stuff, but everybody's like, "Oh, it's an L, because he's saying Roman's going to lose the title." Which that's cool to look into that stuff. But what do you think? What do you think? You think that's real, or you think that's just people?
I love the idea. So here. You don't know what either of those here's were going to be, so I'll just do one of them. I love the idea that Rock's going to cost Roman the title and be the new leader of the bloodline. It's a little thin. It's just Solo and Jimmy. Like, if it was deeper, it would be like, holy shit, we have a new NWO here. And, like, we have...
Rock could have put over Solo and Jimmy a little bit, by the way. They were set dressing in that promo.
Yeah. I love that because then Roman, who everyone cheers for anyway, and he's trying extra hard lately to be a dick.
For sure.
So, like, he knows we like him. Yeah. So this would make him a white-hot babyface, get him off TV for a long time, comes back feud with The Rock, which I love that idea.
Maybe The Rock training camp was, like, legitimate. I'm going to be obviously not full-time wrestler, but maybe he's going to do the Rock thing.
Sure.
Like,
if he's on TV like this for a long time, after having a week to think about it and really watch what it could be and where it can go. I love that idea.
Is he going to be at the Chamber, you think?
So they said...
Australia. That's a big commitment.
He should be. Yeah. I mean, the pay-per-view's like selling itself just based on the fact Rhea Ripley's there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
they're promoting it. It's so bullshit that not Otis didn't get a spot on that. Like, his home country. It's all the way around the world, like literally the other side of the planet.
And what's fucked up is they added a women's tag title match. We'll cover the full card, but this morning or maybe last night, they add a women's tag team title match. They couldn't have given Bronson Reed something to do.
Something, man.
Something
like home, but like they seem to be kind of like sideways advertising that, and they haven't outright said it, but they're kind of sideways advertising that The Rock's going to be there for the Grayson Waller, was it the Waller effect?
I don't care. I don't want to know who that guy is.
Oh, no. Actually, he's one of my... I like him. Grayson Bloody Waller.
Yeah,
he's the dude that, like, trolls. His like, Instagram game is incredible.
He had zero reaction when he came out to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, no, he's not there yet, but, like, he's got...
Well, when he gets
pieces.
There, I'll be happy, because I hate what the pieces are now.
He's never going to be a great wrestler.
No.
But
it's like, I love mac and cheese.
Heel work. Like, he has, like, an uncanny understanding.
I know Shawn Michaels loves him. Like, I know he got, like, adored in NXT, so... And he's got a pretty good track record of having a good eye.
Yeah.
So he's going to do okay.
The lazy one or the
I mean, so far it's been the lazy one. That was good. That was a very good joke. But back to the Rock thing, one little so they have the subtext of he's pointing at Roman when he's saying everything. He's doing the incorrect bloodline pose. Also, this seemed odd because they're very good with framing shots. When they did their shot at the end of the show, they were not centered. The only one centered was The Rock in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
it was like,
that's
very
intentional.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to be doing, but based on everything that happened, I'm very fine with The Rock being responsible for Roman losing.
I don't want to because I'm a Cody guy, like if he's going to finish his story, I don't mind The Rock getting involved on behalf of Cody.
Sure.
Like face turn at Mania. But I only want it to be to offset the stupid ass Solo Sikoa and a hoodie thing.
Yeah. But Seth is
not
going
to
be
actually
there too.
Physically assault. Well, there's more than one bloodline member.
Yeah.
So like Seth can take out Jimmy and Rock can handle Solo. But I don't want Rock like doing the Cena versus Punk, still my favorite WWE match of all time, but Money in the Bank, and it's always on every rewatch, it's like slightly tainted because Cena had to have it. He couldn't just go clean, put Punk over clean. He had to have the thing where Johnny Ace came out and got distracted or whatever, and that led to I don't want any of that for Cody. I want it to be clean. He's like the biggest babyface ever. Yeah. They had to take The Rock off of WrestleMania because Cody is so popular.
Sure.
Let him win it.
It's already a little tainted though. Like it's not like no matter. All right. So Rock coming out. So another little detail from SmackDown, The Rock came out after Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like Roman is not the top guy in his own feud anymore.
Like he very much looks like little brother or son or something.
100%.
Which I never would have thought Roman could look like
ever.
After all the work that he's done to make himself the final boss. Yeah. And he's awesome at it. But like probably the one guy on earth that you could stick next to Roman Reigns to make Roman feel like less than what he is friggin' The Rock. And he just happens.
So with Roman looking already smaller than he did since
physically and like
Yeah, that's a good point too. Like just by, it's the analogy you made. If Drew McIntyre went to AEW, he would look like the largest thing that the company's ever signed. But Roman next to The Rock it's a bad visual to keep your champion strong. And also, too, when your lackeys don't say anything or have really any impact to protect the title, like they're so much more interested in screwing Cody before I feel like they're doing stuff out of order. They're telegraphing what's going to happen, and it's just not what made the bloodline good.
That's the Fed, man. That's the Fed.
Yeah. But if they were doing so good with continuity for a minute and storytelling, and to be fair, how you open the whole thing, this whole thing's been it's a whole fucking hodgepodge now.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do to make it have continuity now. Besides come out and be like, yeah, wrestling's fake, and we did this because The Rock is the boss, and when he first came back, he thought that like the fans would be happy that he was taking the main event.
Sure.
Like, you're not going to go on TV and say all that shit.
No.
But beyond that, there's no way to.
No.
There's no story you can tell that really has great continuity.
No, and even with that, so there's nothing lately that makes Cody's win wildly triumphant. Like last year, it should have been wildly triumphant, right?
I mean,
he came back from the pec tear.
If he beats Roman without anybody else laying a finger on Roman,
it doesn't even feel like.
That's why I wish Roman would have won some of these goddamn matches without Solo and Jimmy.
Yeah,
like he didn't have to cheat for every one of them,
right?
But he did. Like
he cheated in the Royal Rumble, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Solo.
Of course he did.
I believe with his stupid hood.
And here's the thing. Like I used to watch every one of those matches so intently because it was so interesting.
Yeah.
And like I have to ask you now, like, hey, what happened in the last time he defended? I don't even care anymore.
Well, like those Roman in those title matches, they're still like great matches right up until they do this stupid schmaz.
Yeah.
Like Roman's a final boss. He's a scary dude. You can just make him like dominate or whatever. At least get a clean pin here and there. Because right now it feels like, oh yeah, if Cody's, the Avengers crew he's putting together, if they're gonna take out Solo and Jimmy, like, or The Rock is gonna take out Solo, whatever. If Roman doesn't have his henchmen, it feels like Cody is a giant favorite at this point, which it shouldn't feel that way. Right. But it's what happens when you never let a guy pin anybody clean for like the last year.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be a weak. Like he's got like Ric Flair chicken shit heel heat right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where he should be like like Gunther. He should be like booked as strong as Gunther is in title matches.
Yeah.
And he's not.
And I don't understand why.
No, like it doesn't make any sense.
I understand he's a heel, so you want him to cheat and stuff sometimes when like things aren't going his way.
Right.
Like have him cheat in that Sami Zayn match last year, but like you don't have to cheat in every match, man. No. You're a badass.
No, absolutely.
You got to build that part of it up too. And The Rock just adds more to that kind of feeling that I've had about Roman for the last year. Like he's not quite as final bossish as he was, and like I want him to feel that way so Cody can get his true moment. I mean, I still think Sammy should have won the goddamn title in Quebec, but I mean, I rewatched that match. Like,
it was so
2 days ago.
It was in your top 3.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, that wasn't necessarily my top 3. It was 3 of my top 50.
Oh, excuse me.
My top 50 I don't do in order. I just do. I pick usually my favorite match of the year, and then I just like come up with all the other matches that I think are notable, awesome matches.
Nobody can see this because it's not video, but when I said it's in your top 3, your whole body shifted. You're like, well, actually, I
can't just let that go by.
Excuse me.
What are we, fucking animals?
Excuse me.
I need that to be... No.
Mind your tongue, sir. I have a top 50.
To that, it was MJF and Bryan Danielson, by the way, match of the year last year in that 60-minute Iron Man.
The Iron Man match.
This is something I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
But beyond that match, it's like a 49 place tie. Basically, I don't rank them. I just put them together so I can recommend them to people.
It's 1 and then 2 through 50.
Ooh. I want to touch on one. I remembered it just now because we're talking about great matches.
Yep.
And we're not going to get to it in the meat of this. Did you see the Will Ospreay?
Nope.
Michael Oku.
Go ahead.
You need to. I know you're not into indies, but like, holy shit! It was 47 minutes long. Evidently.
Yeah.
Felt like 10 minutes. That their first match was my favorite indie match I've ever seen. Was the first one. That was the one that I said that Will Ospreay did his best heel work like ever in that match. He like beat the hell out of Michael Oku's girlfriend, and then he kept hitting hidden blades and then picking him up by the hair. He's like a skinny. If you've ever seen Michael Oku, he's like a skinny black dude. So like that image too of like a battered young black man being like lifted up by his hair, bleeding from like an evil white guy. Boy, that was visceral. Like I felt it. And Oku got his comeuppance. He's the new Rev Pro champ and like a 6-star. Friggin', it's insane. The multi-part like sequence moves that Ospreay does all the time, where he goes like one thing into the next so seamlessly. I've never seen anybody do anything like it. There was one spot where Ospreay had Oku in a like he was gonna tombstone pile drive him, and Oku like you guys have to see it, but like he somehow magically transitioned from receiving a tombstone pile driver to performing a Frankensteiner. It was so goddamn awesome. I've never seen it before. And Michael Oku is like that dude is like the best kept secret in the indies. I think he's got a huge future. But that just got me really fired up for Will Ospreay coming to AEW, because that match, if you can find on Reddit, YouTube, elsewhere.
That was my next question. If I wanted to, it's not that I don't like the indies. It's too difficult to find. Like if I want to, if I want to watch certain movies and I'm like, oh, it's only available on like Tubi, like I'm not gonna watch it. Like it's just too many barriers. There's a reason I saw In the Army Now by Pauly Shore 70 goddamn times when I was younger, because it was just on loop.
We're old and there was cable.
there were 3 channels to watch, and it's like, well, it's either this or something that I don't want to watch. I'm too young to watch it. Oh, I know, that's the guy from Son-in-Law.
Whenever I make reference to like a show being on at a certain time and I had like having to watch it when it aired, my daughter looks at me like I have 3 eyes. She's like, absolutely no concept of it. I may as well be saying like, we used to drive around in bananas and we ate our own farts. Like that is the look that she gives me when I say, oh no, you had to be there at 7 o'clock to watch that show. Like,
it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. But anyway, now we have YouTube. You can find the Rev Pro match.
I'll give it a peek.
One of the problems, I agree with you with some, like I don't watch a ton of indie stuff, but it's not because of the work that is done. It is only because I don't know where these indie promoters fucking find their equipment, because it's like way worse. Like every indie show is shot on something way worse than like a 5-year-old smartphone.
Yeah.
like it looks like it was shot on like a Nokia brick phone, like first one that was like given, video ability.
Right.
And that's like like Steven Soderbergh shot a movie on his phone 5 years ago and it looks like a movie. How can none of these indies can like,
well, they're
just light the ring and then shoot it,
because they gotta
look like ECW.
They can't
94.
afford it. They gotta pay Will Ospreay. That money can't buy iPhones. Come on, or gimbals.
Yeah,
there's people that shoot weddings that have better equipment than entire wrestling.
Scumbags have iPhones, like the creepos that run the indies.
I like to envision that they all still
have 6
have
phones each, a bunch of burners for all their bad leather stuff that they do.
And their leather fanny packs.
Axel, not Axel Rotten.
Axel Foley?
No.
Talking about Beverly Hills Cop?
One of they're big indie promoter. Yeah, it's something Rotten, but he's like a huge scumbag.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think of guys like him when I think of indie promoters, and that dude definitely has like 6 iPhones.
Yeah.
You want to move into? You mentioned you had some other notes from SmackDown.
That was, we kind of literally the only 2 were. I was surprised how bad Logan Paul's match was, given that he had a flawless track record, and I have been the biggest Logan Paul supporter since he's been in WWE.
Yeah,
and like I'm telling everybody, I'm like, this guy's the shit. He's so good. But
me too.
It's
but
very
it really
clear.
showed this week.
It was tough. And
I think it probably is because also you're watching AEW now regularly, so like the doing the stuff in the downtime is like a prerequisite to even get in the ring in AEW.
Sure.
so it stands out. When
Yeah,
you
that's
see
fair.
something that's not, it just isn't there. We like the same as it was with Shane.
Right.
That's how it is with Logan. His ceiling is obviously like infinite.
Yeah.
But is he gonna be going to do house shows in like
But that's
the
what
third
he's
biggest
gotta
town in
do.
Alabama?
No, well, he doesn't have to, and it's
Well,
probably not part of
the
his
reps,
deal.
Then like if he wants to be great,
Or
you have to do that.
Or don't put him on TV. Make him special. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, but when he's special, I want those matches to.
But
kick ass.
they all are.
They mostly are. But like one of them, he blew his knee up because
But he blew his knee up in the most spectacular way. He was taking a selfie while he was soaring through the air.
Oh, I thought it was on the. I thought it was actually on the buckshot.
Oh, that's when
I think
tore
he
it.
did the soaring thing with the destroyed knee.
Okay, that makes him better.
Insane. He's an unbelievable athlete.
I'm getting a bottle of Prime on the way home to show support. It's very,
I
very
would rather drink Woo Energy.
If you want to be the man, you have to get a can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Better than that.
It's just surprising.
That's the other thing about the Logan Paul. And not to step on you there, but like his run-ins, he had that guy, his buddy in the crowd, and it's always just like a guy named Jeff.
Yeah.
What?
My name's Jeff.
Pair him up with another performer, and then have that dude do run. Like give him a manager or something if you want like a distraction every match. I don't watch Logan Paul's YouTube videos.
No.
I'm guessing most wrestling fans don't watch Logan Paul's YouTube videos because 8-year-olds watch Logan Paul's YouTube videos. So, like, if I'm supposed to know who that guy is, it's like back what you were talking about with the Bucks when they were, telling major story beats on their, like, YouTube show.
Right.
I'm not going to know who Jeff is.
Right. Also, too, I was thinking about that. We're in our 40s.
I'm well into my
comfortably. And I think if you're, like you just said, an 8-year-old, if you're in like a teenager, maybe you are watching all this shit because kids are glued to their phones.
I think that is where the numbers come from,
and that's where all the T-shirt sales come from. So
because AEW makes zero effort to market to any kids that are not Brody Lee's son.
Right.
And he's the only market.
And getting a paycheck.
After. Yeah.
He's getting,
exactly. He's on the roster.
Right.
So maybe he's the only kid they care about.
Right. So maybe all the kids know who Jeff is. It takes me out. Like, also, I just don't like that he needs brass knuckles because he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like he came. It was just
surprising.
surprising.
The Miz,
but that's another. It was. That was his first match. Like, that's his old dance partner.
Yeah.
You'd think they would be able to run back.
Yeah, it was his trainer, basically.
Yeah.
And The Miz usually is, like...
serviceable.
Like, what he is good for in between the ropes, it's not much.
Yeah.
But the floor is usually, like, a solid floor.
Yeah.
That's usually what The Miz can do. Like, it looked like a wrestling match.
Right.
And this didn't really look like a wrestling match.
Plus, The Miz is motivated again because it looks like he's getting a tag team title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, like, he's back in the fold. So, I mean, you hear any performer... when they have relevancy again, they're, able to be more exciting in the ring. And,
we certainly know The Miz likes his accolades. He lists every one of them every time he gets on the microphone.
Yeah. Braun Breaker is officially on SmackDown. I think we're going to get
the
something.
Songs are gone.
I'm fine with that.
My favorite thing. The only thing that I know at all about NXT is
NXT did a record low rating this past week.
Because no Braun, you think?
Who cares?
The guy that's with Carmelo Hayes, everybody thinks he's going to be a future WrestleMania main event.
Is that Trick Williams?
Trick Williams, yeah. I've not seen his work at all.
No, I just don't. I don't know. I don't care anymore about NXT.
Yeah,
it's just like it was so fun.
It's really difficult to get back in because the points where it was high was so friggin' awesome.
Yeah,
and we didn't have any alternative option. There was no AEW, so if you had any interest in watching good in-ring stuff, that was there where it was at, and it was awesome.
Right.
And, still calling it NXT and them just doing WWE-style matches now, it's hard.
I get it. It's like it
hurts the soul.
Yeah. I feel that hard because... was it a day or two ago? YouTube suggested that I might want to watch Ricochet versus Adam Cole at one of the takeovers, and you're like, "Oh, this is full of this is a stadium. It's a full, not stadium, but like an arena.
Yeah,
this
they filled arenas,
and it was
takeovers.
White hot goddamn fire.
Yeah,
and the crowd loved it. And I'm like, oh,
well, because it was packed, and when AEW crowds when they're smaller, during the matches, they're always way louder than WWE crowds because WWE fans they like the entrances and they like the finish
Yeah.
of every match. They do not give a shit about the meat of any match.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of wild to me when I know that I'm watching Raw regularly that there's like 20,000 people in these arenas that are not making a peep
Right.
for like pretty good match.
Yeah.
Like,
Except when you hear that giant ovation that they're clearly piping in because you look at the mouths and there's not a single person.
No, everybody's sitting on their
breathing right
hands,
now.
or looking at their phones. Like they just want the entrances and the pomp and the circumstance.
Entrances are fun.
They're great.
When they're good,
hey,
they're fun.
I love every part
Yeah.
of wrestling.
Production's
I love
fun.
surprise people showing up.
Right.
The music hitting. Like that's dope.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things.
Um,
All of it. But like, yeah, no, I'm surprised that people pay all the money that they do and pack those stadiums to like not really watch probably 80% of what's going on
Right.
like, on any given show.
Yeah.
What
Including
were we talking about right before this? I'm
I don't
totally.
I think we were talking about Logan Paul. No, Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
But yeah, so I think we might get eventually.
He's funny too.
Is he?
And that's why I like the Wolf Dogs. He was doing like Kurt Angle in the tiny cowboy hat kind of stuff. Like
Yippee-ki-yay.
he was a badass, and then he like after 2 different like badass runs,
Yeah.
he was like, all right, I'll try the comedy thing. And him and Baron Corbin were like absolutely gold.
Right.
Like, so he's a big future star. He's
Sure.
going to be like everybody else was saying, oh yeah, WrestleMania main eventer down the line, but they were all basing that on just that he's like a big scary dude. He's a Steiner and he's good in the ring.
Yeah.
But like now he showed that he can like act a little. He's funny. He's got good timing.
Looks
like
good in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
he really
Like,
did.
He could be the guy like down the line.
But right now, not the guy to beat Gunther because they set up a few. I mean, Raw was very Gunther heavy.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to get into Raw?
might as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Are you okay with with Raw? I'd rather actually do it, segment by segment, like chronological.
Fine with me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the show started off this week's Monday Night Raw. Drew and Cody, which like it had a floor of like 3.75 stars or whatever. Yeah. It was going to be good. Drew does methodical well. Mm-hmm. Like I hate when anybody does anything in wrestling that the announcers can then call methodical, because that usually just means like rest holds and like Randy Orton walking around the ring for like way too long, and every WWE match is 15 minutes minimum. So like that's usually what it means. But like Drew, when he's doing his methodical thing, it feels like it's like strategic and with purpose, and it's dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, great match. Like I mean, what you expect. It's a WWE match, but it's like that actually. To my earlier point about the crowds, that's how over Cody is. I think he's the only person in the company who fans do actively cheer for during the meat of his matches.
Sure.
There's nonstop cheering for him.
Yeah.
But I think he's the only guy. So like it felt great too, because it was a hot crowd for that.
Sure.
Because Cody's out there.
And I noticed how dark the crowd was since you mentioned it last week. And
They went further now
better.
too. Yeah, 100%.
It looks like a more like big fight. I don't know. Feels like title fight, like old boxing match. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Like your eyes only go to one place now.
It doesn't feel like a video game.
Right.
Like Kevin Dunn aesthetic.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Which they're pushing hard. That video game.
Oh, I love the
stats and everything.
Yeah, the ratings.
Yeah.
Like they're.
It's also no Vince McMahon or Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
They released the full list of people, and shockingly, Vince McMahon is not in the video game.
Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, you could probably get up to some pretty interesting side missions if you were you had Vince as a playable.
All that code though is in the game. They're not taking that game
I
out.
was gonna say, the thing I read is Brock is there.
Yeah.
And it just
I've seen
It's gonna take
screenshots.
a little bit of hacking. Like I played 2K23.
Yeah.
And usually I don't play any WWE matches. It's such a great game with such a great and incredible like creation mechanic that you can make 1-to-1 dynamite with like I just downloaded from people. But
everyone's already made them.
Yeah,
and they do an amazing job.
And it's also like real easy to actually like hack into the game with like mods too. So you, like I have MJF's music, and it's very clearly the MJF model in my 2K23 looks way better than the MJF model in the Fight Forever game. Like,
yeah.
So like
Fight Forever sucks.
It is not.
It's so bad.
Some fun gameplay, and it would have been like good if they would have added all the DLC stuff, but like free. They charge full price, and then they want to charge you another $20 or $30 for like Stadium Stampede. Like, no, fuck that.
Which no one's playing. I don't know if you saw the stats.
Well, no, you're trying to charge.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the new dude that came in, took over ticketing for TonyCon, fixed that huge problem with the overpricing of tickets, evidently. So that's helped with the with the attendance a little bit here too. But like, yeah, that really comes across his pricing scale on
they're gouging
an game,
and it's not even for current. Like, they just put out a DLC for Tony Storm, and it's her previous iteration. It's not even her current gimmick.
All dated,
and her current gimmick would be very fun in a video game because I feel like they could do the whole screen.
Kenny Omega might be like programming the game, like that just might have a one-man team, and Kenny Omega is the guy that's like making all this stuff.
He's
which
just
is why it's like
sitting like Howard Hughes in a room.
He's back Twitch streaming, so
that's great.
God bless Kenny. I know he's got
I want him to not die.
Diverticulitis, so
just
Twitch
don't
streaming,
die.
That's good.
One match a year. Just become the Undertaker. Become an attraction.
So the finish of Drew and Cody was the Bloodline was there, like the B crew. Bloodline was there. Solo in his stupid hoodie. Why does Solo whip his hoodie off like he's doing a big reveal all the time?
I don't know.
You get up in a hoodie and you poke the dude in the neck with your thumb.
Yeah.
We're not going to be surprised.
I'm surprised every time. It's working for me.
Like Darby's tope for you.
I don't know who is that guy? And then he takes his hood off. I go, damn it, it's Solo again. He gets me every time.
Again.
It's an average body type and height tattoo scheme and haircut.
Normal tattoos.
Like, who the hell is that? Son of a
hand wrapped in a crazy way with his thumb. All that should be illegal, by the way.
Wrapping your thumb?
Like that to that extent.
He wants to. From what I heard,
I mean, it's wrestling. It doesn't. You can bring a handgun to the ring. It wouldn't really matter as long as you don't fire live rounds.
Guys used to bring shopping carts full of weapons, and everyone's like, "Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
that's totally fine." New Jack, you want to stab someone to death? Go crazy.
Yeah, maybe New Jack should have pumped the brakes on that one a little bit, considering he did try to kill a guy.
Yeah, the mass transit incident.
2 guys, 3 guys. Vic Grimes, mass transit, and the super old timer hardcore guy that he stabbed a bunch of times.
Very indie show, right?
Yeah.
The Cody match ended the same way as his WrestleMania match did.
Yes, which I thought was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I hate bloodline interference. It makes me cringe, makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. But like as a mirrored thing, I liked it. And I liked also Drew's reaction was like kind of, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
He's just such a consistent character. Kicks ass. I do have a big problem with something later in the show that is because of their interference. It's the reason that I have the problem with it. We'll get to it when we get to it. But so after the match, Cody's like, sad Cody sitting in the trainer's room, and Seth comes over and they make eyes at each other. And it looked to me like Cody was like acknowledging, like, oh yeah, I do need your help.
Because he didn't give him an answer, right?
No,
he said it's like, let me know if you need my help.
He did like the knowing nod, but it's WWE, so they will never leave anything subtle. They're going to come out on SmackDown and
yes, I would love your help.
Say exactly what they're going to do 4 times in a very slow cadence.
Sure,
because we're all stupid,
right? I don't like this. I don't see, like, if you just like,
what don't you like about like
the Seth thing? Like, leave him out of it, because
well, then what are you doing? Like,
give him a title match. That's it. Leave him out of it.
I mean, this is all because of the Punk injury, right? I mean,
100%. 100%.
You can't really.
But like, no one wants to challenge for that title. I mean, Drew is, but like, how come he has to now be in the other? I just don't see a world where Drew McIntyre loses. So Drew McIntyre wins, but then I'm supposed to believe that Seth is going to protect Cody somehow.
Yeah.
Pick a lane, man. Like, is he a bad? Is he going to win? Like, or lose? You can't like 50-50 book yourself on one goddamn night of wrestling.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Points like making him strong for Cody, but Also, his title is like trash, and he looks kind of weak.
And that's and in that order, it would be fine if he helped Cody, and then like something happened, like where Solo with his big ass rap tape, jacked him up, and he was injured for his title match.
Yeah.
Already on top of we already know that he's injured, and then
he
Drew
is actually hurt too.
And then Drew picks the bones. Like then you at least have some sympathy going out of it. But when you flip the script, no. Seth looks like a goddamn loser.
Yes, he
like
does.
No matter what I'm uniquely equipped. Bitch, you lost.
Cuck Rollins.
And he put his and here's the thing: he put his Shield gear on in the match he lost him to Roman in, and he's like, I know the Shield. Like, you wore the damn outfit and you still lost. So like it's an extra
plus you're
layer.
The guy that turned on him and broke it up, and then you lost later.
And also, like you didn't even make that decision. Triple H made that decision.
Yeah.
And also, John Moxley, I would be much more convinced of being a problem in a corner than Seth Rollins.
Hell yeah.
What are you gonna fucking Phoenix splash him or something? Like, I don't know. You're a high flyer with a heel with a high flyer moveset. I don't know. I have so many things wrong with this guy. Plus, maybe don't wear a blouse. Like if you're like trying to pass yourself off as this like bad motherfucker, like
I love me some like extravagant clothing. I kind of think he has shitty taste for extravagant clothing.
His wife has you could tell that
she's got a thing,
but you could tell they like both have like the gaudy stuff, but like her shit works for some reason.
He doesn't like look like Prince like he thinks he does.
No,
like it just looks like he grabbed a bunch of costume stuff and like threw it on.
Absolutely, he got dressed in the dark.
Nonsense.
That's
There's
really
no
what
rhyme
it looks
or
like.
reason to it. Like it's not like Macho Man with his incredible robes with the flowing tassels and stuff. It's all just as nonsensical as it can be. That's his only thing. And then people sing a song.
Which, fine. I get it. The song's over. But then he gets to the ring, and he's a totally different guy. So, like, his entrance presentation is... Like, even when Shawn Michaels was coming out, and he was being all flamboyant and shit, when he had, like a blood feud, or, like, there was actually something going on,
serious.
He turned that shit off.
Absolutely.
They all did. When Cena was at ECW One Night Stand, he didn't stop and do all his poses and shit. He just got in the ring, put his head down.
Gotten stabbed in the kidney.
But even you just mentioned Money in the Bank 2011, like he didn't do all the cheering stuff. Like he put his head down. Like how come Seth can't be a student of the goddamn game? How about be a student of the game? Like look at all Triple H matches.
Yeah, good call.
Just do what he did and be serious in serious situations.
Triple H likes him because he's got a big nose.
With Triple H, I think
that might be the only thing. Like, I think that's why he took Seth under his wing. He's like, oh, another guy with a big nose. Finally,
Has there ever been a stable of exclusively big nosed men?
I think I was about to go down.
What a weird premise.
A certain route there.
Let's abort.
And it wasn't gonna. There's no good way to come.
I'm just trying to think of like men of various like age and backgrounds.
A bunch of Greek guys. Is there like a group of like
just Dino Bravo?
Yeah, like I'm sure that in the 40s, 50s, 60s, or like Bruno Sammartino feuded with like Theophanopoulos and his brothers or something.
At the Pantheon,
this is what happened back then. Yeah, like
I always get them mixed up. The Pantheon and the Parthenon. One of them's in Greece. Anyway.
Parthenon.
It's in Greece?
Now you have me crossed up, and I don't know.
I've been to one of them.
I went to the Colosseum in Italy, and now you've crossed me up so bad, I'm not sure where that is either.
It's in Georgetown.
The next thing that happened on Raw was the women's elimination chamber. Oh, I'm sorry. The women's last chance battle royal, which was absolute trash, unwatchable.
I give you credit for even watching it.
I was like working on some stuff on the side or whatever. Yeah. I couldn't have just like intently watched that thing. It was just awful.
Just yuck.
The worst WWE. Raquel Rodriguez is bland as Natty.
But she's got a big back, like upper back. That's her thing. She poses and she's like, "Look at how big my back is."
But like, you just signed Jade Cargill,
yeah.
So big it ain't enough.
No.
And she's like boring in the ring.
She seems happy to be there.
Well, she was sick, so I'm happy that she's like back and healthy and everything. I don't want to watch her though.
No.
And like the match I was like barely watching it. It felt like it took about 4.5 hours. I don't know how long it actually took. But the Raquel Rodriguez won, so she's like, she's going to Elimination Chamber. Looks like she's the replacement for Jade, if Jade was actually ever, booked on the card. But it did look like she probably was, and they pivoted, went to Raquel Rodriguez. I get why they don't want to like pin Jade.
Yeah. Also, that's a hell of a way to introduce somebody in the most violent way possible.
Sure, yeah. Also, I just realized Tiffany Stratton is going to do a moonsault off the top of one of those chambers, and she's going to kill someone.
Oh, yeah. It's a good, like, it's pretty. Like, when she hits it.
No, I mean, I saw her do it in NXT a bunch of times, and it was like
it's
picture
like,
perfect.
Yeah, it's like a notch. I like that it's a notch up of the Christopher Daniels, what is it, the best moonsault ever? And now hers is the prettiest moonsault ever?
Yes.
And she jumps one more time than he does?
Yep.
It's fun.
It's wrestling. It's
yeah.
It's great. I love it. But the way the match finished, Triple H, like, Booker of the Year, oh, Papa H is cooking. Every goddamn battle royal ends the same way. Somebody thinks they won, and somebody who's rolled out of the ring earlier in the match sneaks up from behind and either knocks them out or then they get thrown out. He literally books this every single time they do a battle royal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he thinks it's super clever or what, but it's garbage because you see it every time. It's fine to do that spot once. It's a cool spot, like once. Right. You don't like maybe again 10 years later. Not like 4 times in a month or whatever.
But also, too, battle royals are hard to book in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't book battle royals.
Right. But even if you have good workers, like
no.
the easiest way to book a battle royal is to just have a ton of like subplots like within, but
which
like
is super hard to do.
It's super hard to do. But also it was a foregone conclusion that Raquel was winning because she was. I even wrote down like who's in this match.
I did a slight hope for Chelsea just because I'm a fan.
Yeah. She also
she did
too
do the slide-in thing. So I thought, maybe she'll get
from last week. She also said like, I want to be in it,
She's
but like
infinitely more interesting than Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. But I wrote Battle Royal. Shayna versus Zoe versus Raquel versus, and I never wrote anything again. And I just went and made a sandwich or something.
I did not write the.
Like I knew Raquel was going to win, so why do to your point? Why do any kind of
names down.
No, but a schmaz finish? It wasn't even a schmaz finish. It was just.
It was the same Triple H finish. He does every battle royal.
I guess try to make it interesting.
By doing the same shit every time.
Yeah.
If you want to be Mr. Booker of the Year, Triple H is cooking, baby. You have to have more than one idea for any given match.
Yeah.
And he really loves going back to the well on stuff.
Crazy. Gonna give him a little credence. Not credence.
Credit.
He's got a lot going on right now.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
His father-in-law is having some trouble.
He is. Who knows if he gets named or whatever. And he's done a great job. Booking WWE. He still books it like WWE, which is a problem. But he's a million times better than what came before him.
Sure.
But that's because what came before him was like 2 hot pokers being jammed into my eyeballs for 30 straight years.
And they're not being quiet. I don't know if you saw Randy Orton saying, because everybody's asking about the Vince stuff because they're in Australia, and they're all replying.
Everybody's answering it better than Triple H did.
Everybody. Like, people are saying, like, oh, my heart hurts. Like, Cena's like, I'm going to reserve judgment. And so, I hear
Cena's
the facts.
Came off a little weird.
On paper, what he said, fine. But also, there's a lot of evidence out already.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to reserve judgment until the,
It's, I read somebody say a thing that I loved. When you use a legal answer for a not a legal question, it's a bad look.
Yeah.
He was like, innocent until proven guilty. Like, that's not what this is, man.
No, we get it. We get it. Do you have Google Images? Because you can look at all the evidence right now if you want. But Randy Orton, I forget exactly what he said, but he did reference, last time I was here, we were rewriting Raw, the day of. He was acknowledging it was a shit show and how happy he is to be back in such a structured environment. So Triple H, despite
I hear it's like Undertaker's mad because it's too good a work environment now. He's all pissed off. People should be shitting each other's gym bags and stuff, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Sure,
Triple H actually runs it like a business,
right?
And everybody's happy and relaxed.
Yeah, God forbid, right?
So he's doing a great job for what he's doing. I just wish he would switch up his booking occasionally.
Yeah.
Tony Khan catches crap for repeating stuff. He doesn't repeat half as much as Trips does.
Maybe don't waste it on this though. Maybe hey, I got a good idea for a battle royal. Don't blow it on.
Just do a regular finish. Why? Who cares?
That would be different.
That
would be different to do the straight and narrow.
If you just did Raquel Rodriguez's dominant finish.
Yeah.
then you set her up nice for the
for the
no,
chamber.
She has no chance. Becky Lynch is winning the chamber,
Yeah.
but like it puts that thought in your head, like, oh, she looked dominant. Maybe she's got a chance here.
Yeah.
Instead, she looked like bang average, like everybody else did.
Sure.
And then the stupid Triple H finish.
with a bigger back.
You got anything else about the women's
Not a
elimination
single
battle
fucking.
royal?
I didn't even
Christ.
like I told you I didn't even watch it.
It is the amalgamation of my problem with WWE. With why not? With I shouldn't say that. My problem with having to watch WWE television.
Yeah.
It's just know when to end something. They have no idea. Everything doesn't have to move at a snail's pace, and everything doesn't have to go 15 to 20 minutes.
No, I don't need 2 commercial breaks between
Every match.
Also,
Every
too,
match.
is anybody watching picture in picture when it goes to commercial? I'm
I
sure
have
you are.
watched one picture in picture
Yeah.
last week.
With-
Because Matt Taven
Yeah.
did like 2 awesome table spots
During the commercial break?
Commercial break. Yeah, like I was about to fast forward, and I was like, "Oh, he's setting up a table during picture." So like I watched that. I've never ever watched any other picture.
No, it's not. I don't know. Maybe they get a price break on it. Like I don't know who that's for. It's not for me.
I'm sure it's a different price for like full ads or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But like when I do watch the commercial free, European feed, there is fun stuff that happens. It's usually goofy stuff and kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's stuff you can miss.
Right. One thing we did skip over, Andrade got a hype promo.
Fucking boring as
Is there
shit.
any?
Bruce was the right guy to keep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's way more
And
intense.
he's back from injury, by the way.
But is there a reason WWE books every good-looking Hispanic man to look like
Exactly the
a
same.
millionaire, and for their motivation to be it's their destiny?
Yeah.
It's the same.
They
Like
make handsome Carlos Slim is like every single.
they dusted off the
Latino.
Alberto Del Rio
Yeah,
script, and I'm like,
exactly.
this is the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
And-
And Andrade's like a maniac in the ring.
Yeah.
Lean that direction.
Absolutely.
Instead, they gave him like the most like boring, like another rich guy, is going to come out in limos.
I'm excited he's there, but I
should just give Queen Zelina back to Andrade because she's not a very good wrestler, but she was awesome at doing that, like Hurricane Rana, on his opponents. And she could talk way better than Andrade can.
right.
I've heard Andrade in Spanish. Promos suck ass too. So it's not just a language thing. Did you have more thoughts on Andrade's incredible?
I'm happy. I'm happy he's back. It's nice. Like it's nice to see one guy of a certain ethnicity not in the ethnicity battle. And all the Hispanic guys.
You mean like they don't call him a lucha and put a mask on him, basically?
But and he's not in either LWO, which I feel like it's a prerequisite if you're Hispanic in that company and not Dominic Mysterio. You have to be affiliated with the LWO, right? So, so
WWE does like putting similar looking people into like boxes together.
Totally.
Yeah. And so it is nice that Andrade is like separate from that.
and I'm
But he's a badass in the ring.
also too
Do that.
let's.
I'm glad he's there too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have to watch Raw now, so
Yeah.
There'll be some
he's
decent
palatable.
matches.
He's absolutely palatable, and put him on after Mania. Don't. Well, obviously they're not going to do shit with
Didn't
him
he come
before
off
Mania.
the Rumble? He was in the Rumble.
He was in
right?
the Rumble. Yeah, but leave him alone until after Mania.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax did a side by side talking head interview that the entire thing felt like just super scripted.
It was tough.
Rhea's delivery is like pretty decent, but there's not a whole lot you can do with like the scripted stuff.
No.
I can't look at Nia Jax, especially like a headshot like that, without thinking of that J-Lo meme that you sent. So I was just like laughing at her. It made this segment like at least watchable.
Yeah.
And then she opened her mouth and what does she do besides hurt people? Like
Nia Jax?
Like hurt people. Yeah.
She's supposed to be super intimidating.
She does like big soft body like splashes in the corner.
But she's
real
fighting
gentle looking moves.
Yeah.
And then hurts people.
She's
with,
fighting
like,
a
basic
fucking monster at the Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley is jacked.
She absolutely is.
So I'm supposed to believe
I have zero obviously because it's Rhea, it's Australia. They're
Right.
not going to do that. But even if I was like a little kid, I'd be like, oh, she can't beat her.
No.
Rhea's a monster, and this Nia Jax lady looks like she should be like collecting disability or something, like
Nia-
riding around on a scooter in Target or something. Like
Scooters
not
are
a
fun.
pro wrestler.
Scooters are very fun.
And she can take Tamina with her.
No one's meaner than Tamina. Nia Jax has like one man gang heel heat where like she's just like bigger, right? So like, and to her credit, she lost a ton of weight, and like I read online, like
Hasn't helped her ring work at all.
no, not at all. But like, yeah, I mean, I want to say something nice about her, but because I don't get.
She seems like kind of an asshole to me, so I don't mind saying
Yeah,
mean stuff.
But she's trying. Like she was out. Like if you look at her when she had, remember when she had like a fro,
Yeah.
and then like she just looked super unhappy.
she's-
At least now she's trending
like-
in the right direction.
She's a female one-man gang. Is she gonna like get a gimmick change and come back as like a Chinese lady?
Oh, like Akeem.
Like Hakeem?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
That'd be more interesting than whatever the hell. Oops, sorry.
And they're trying to make it interesting. They tried to
Well,
place
Rhea's working her ass off to make it interesting.
right,
And
but they're trying to place doubt in my head that Rhea's like not gonna leave
Yeah, I mean, that's
Australia.
the whole point.
She's
is
headlining the
trying
damn
to put
show.
doubt in your head. Which is why I love it. AEW.
Can you imagine that the show goes up because that match is headlining? They announced that it's the last match on the card.
It's got it. I mean, their
Can
place is
you
going to go ape shit for her.
imagine if they do a Vince Russo and have Nia Jax win? Ugh.
Oh my god! Like in Australia, those people like don't mess around.
No.
I think there would be.
They get one
violence.
pay-per-view like a lifetime.
And it's Australia. It's like
Yeah.
the scariest place in the world.
Yeah.
I think there would be like real, actual violence would erupt. I did say Cody was the only guy that's that over, and he is the only guy that's that over. But Rhea is like equal
She's
over.
lava hot.
Like people,
She does
cheer for
everything
her
right.
matches and stuff. Yeah,
Everything right.
She's unbelievable. She's
Yeah.
like has been great since the beginning, and she just really come into her own now.
Right.
So we had the next we had the R-Truth segment.
Which I was laughing.
So
I had to rewind. It was so goddamn funny.
it was my note was mostly silly, but I laughed my ass off at the DX graphic thing, and then most importantly, the completely unexplained poncho was like my favorite thing that happened in wrestling this week.
Was it raining?
Like, I have no idea what and that it was left unexplained is what made it perfect. But like it's like a sunny day out. He's doing an interview outside, and he's wearing a blue poncho for no reason. But yeah, he's continuing his things. Oh, absolutely. Like he's one of those dudes that you can
funny.
tell like he's cracking everybody up in real life too,
Yeah.
because it's like the poncho thing. Nobody came up with that. None of the writers came up with that.
No.
They're like hacks from sitcoms. R-Truth came up with that.
Yeah.
I wish that dude would get a run, like
He's about
a
to.
real like title run.
He's
Yeah,
about
I guess
he's about to win the tag titles,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, so good for him.
Yeah. Long overdue.
Chad Gable versus Ivar.
You don't want to talk about the UFC tie-in?
Oh, that dude with the super rapey energy that they had on TV.
Michael Chandler calling out Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And
there are other fighters. Everybody on Earth doesn't have to solely call out Conor McGregor.
No. That's all I wanted to talk about. I couldn't care less about that.
Pre the Gable and Ivar match, they did a couple of like pre-tape promos. I thought both were for WWE style excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost sounded like human beings were talking. And that's really hard to do with that scripted, writers' room stuff. And like I do think it was scripted. I don't think it was like Kevin Owens or Zayn or like Drew.
Which promo are you talking about?
Both the
the Sammy one?
the
Chad
Gable and then Ivar. They were a couple of little. Like,
I liked it because it reeked of like Saturday morning
Absolutely.
wrestling from like 20 years ago.
yeah, and they said what they were saying with
Different
the kind of
envir-
conviction that
Yeah.
they had back then.
Different environments. Like
Yeah.
I'm like it made me want to watch the match.
It was a good.
Yeah.
It was a WWE promo, which I liked, which
Yeah.
doesn't usually happen unless it's like a select handful.
Jumpin'
of
Jeff
guys.
Farmer. Yep. Motley Cruz. I watched that for about a half hour straight the other day.
So that the Gable Ivar match. Oh, I guess that didn't. That was later on.
No,
What are
we'll
we talking about now.
Yeah.
Chad Gable, man,
That match was fucking great.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever think WWE matches that are not Gunther matches.
Yeah.
are like great. That was great.
It was so I just wrote terrific.
Gable.
That's all I wrote.
I bite on Gable's delayed German on big guys.
Yeah.
Every match. And he does it every match, so I shouldn't bite on it.
Right.
He's so good at like making you believe that I bite on it every single time. Well, he's not going to be able to delay German suplex Ivar. Like, I've seen him do it to bigger guys, but my brain forgets that because he's so good at that magic part of it.
Right.
It's looking like they're going to do the right thing, and he's going to win the IC title off of Gunther at WrestleMania.
Mania?
Remember we were talking about he's not on TV? And
so
that's the only thing that was keeping him from the Gunther thing.
There's a few things tripping that up, which we'll get to in a second, named Sami and Zayn. But I would love for him to be the guy. That was my
idea last week,
but they heard you and they put it in the show this week, right? So like, this was just a great reintroduction kind of thing. I'm grateful they got Ivar off Bronson Reed because they were just doing like.
They love putting fat guys against fat guys.
And it's not good. Like, Ivar's a terrific worker. Bronson Reed's pretty good.
He's good too. He's a good hoss. Yeah. Like just straight hoss. But you don't put him in with another.
I didn't love those two together. But like Ivar and Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Worked just awesome chemistry.
It was such a good match.
Everything Gable does looks great. Ivar is believable. He lays his shit in. Like, I was not expecting to see any matches, non-Gunther matches. And I think this was my favorite match of the night.
Yeah.
And it you could have put this on AEW TV as far as the in-ring part.
Which on this broadcast is the barometer of greatness.
In-ring, come on. Like WWE's got them all over when it comes to like everything else, like all the TV production.
The only thing they book equally terribly are battle royals.
Yeah, but I wish battle royals would kind of disappear.
Yeah,
just do the Rumble.
It's fun seeing everybody out there for a minute.
But then you got to watch them and
you got to watch
confusingly bump into each other.
Yeah.
But outside of battle royals, I do think that the floor.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You watch some crap on Rampage, and it's like, oh, it's like a 4-star match.
Yeah. We did skip. Speaking of Sami Zayn, he did a segment where he said a lot of interesting things.
Everything Sami says, I just believe.
But like, not only that, he dropped a lot of like.
Oh yeah, very
breadcrumbs. So like one thing
direct.
is he said he's pausing on Drew McIntyre for now.
Yep.
So okay, his whole motivation lately of losing his confidence was rooted in Drew McIntyre. So he's pausing on Drew for now,
which I'm glad to get that out of the way.
And then he says he knows there's a path to Drew McIntyre and to a championship.
Yeah.
He said he's going to, at WrestleMania, do something historic. I'm a contender. I will be a champion. He's fucking fighting Gunther. I think he's going to be the guy that beats Gunther.
I mean, I booked that last week, and I would love it.
I'm fine with it. They got to start doing it now that the just awful Jey Uso shit's out the way, and I really hope it is because they set. Yeah, it should be because they set something up at the end of that too. But it was such a blatant right turn of everything he said. I'm like, oh, he's beating Gunther. Yeah. Which I'm very fine with.
You're right. He did do like very pointed. I'm going to make history kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm pausing on Drew for now.
I mean, like Sami.
But if you fucking hate somebody, who says that? You know what I mean? Like if you think about this in the context of real fighting,
talks like that though. Like he says like silly, like kind of shit like that. Sometimes, like he always has. Not that it makes any sense, like any more so because he's always done it. But he always says like had those little like quirks. Verbal quirks,
right?
But like everything the guy says is, I believe. I don't know how they can like production can watch Sami Zayn go out and like do a promo like that, which obviously is his own words, and not think that is the way that they should do it with everybody.
Let them do their own. Well,
let like 4 guys do their own.
Let those guys only do their own because when you. To let people talk for themselves. Sometimes it's a fucking
like
train
sometimes
wreck.
You find out that you got Drew McIntyre, which he used to be a scripted guy. Now
100%.
He's like one of the best talkers in the world.
Yeah, he's perfect. So yeah, I'm pretty excited now for that. I'm curious what they're gonna do. Maybe starting at the Chamber in. I want to say tomorrow. It's in like 12 hours.
It's a weird time.
Like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's airing here in the
British
Midwest.
Podcasts I listened to were like, "Oh, woe is me! Americans have to get up early for once because they
shut up."
And I was like, "Who's getting up early to watch the Chamber?"
No,
no
I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Yeah. I'm going to watch it at my leisure and just avoid social media.
Watch it on my phone.
Yeah.
Then Becky Lynch cut a promo.
Oh, this was a lot. This was a lot of
my
hot
lowlight of the
garbage.
show,
Becky
maybe.
Lynch's promo up until
She's a good
everybody
talker,
came out.
But then they did a 7-person promo train.
Right.
Which means entrance music for everybody.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Like walking down the ramp from everybody. This went on. I actually like was born and grew up, got married, had a kid, and died in the amount of time that this fucking promo.
It was
went.
lengthy.
It was the worst.
It was lengthy.
And what came out of it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was 20 minutes of wasted time.
Nia Jax came out and looked like a monster.
Yeah.
Becky said,
I mean, when she like softly placed, I forget who it was, but she did the thing where she picked somebody up and ran them into the. I don't think it was the post. It was the post or the.
Oh, she tried to throw Tiffany Stratton into the stairs and came up short.
Yeah, it looked all awful. And
well,
goofy. That reminds me of something I forgot to mention. That in the great Ivar Gable match, I loved when Ivar got thrown into the LED. Screen on the side of the ring. The production's so good. They had it. They like pretended like it went out for it, like it, got snowy and then went out for a second and then popped back on.
Right.
It's just the little stuff like that I love.
Little production touches.
Yeah.
Becky said some weird stuff where she cuts. She has a habit of like. She's like auditioning for a role in her head. I feel like her promos are very like monologue-y.
Yeah, they are.
And she sometimes like loses it a little bit.
I mean, it's like it feels scripted.
Yeah.
To me.
Where she's talking, but like maybe that's just how she talked. But she said something odd where she is talking about Rhea Ripley, and she said, "When we inevitably meet." I think they're trying real hard to place doubt in everyone's head that Rhea Ripley's leaving Australia as the women's champion, because why would you say when we inevitably meet when the entire time up until now you've been saying I'm fighting you at WrestleMania?
Yeah, we're gonna have.
And it's like when Cody's like, not right now, and Rhea and now Becky's like, when we inevitably get to it. Like she stopped talking shit. Like it just lost focus for like a second.
I believe you're
looking
crossing up a word here. Inevitably means not to be a pedantic dickhead, but inevitably means that like something that is going to absolutely happen.
She said.
So like
when we inevitably meet.
So like what?
Yeah.
If she's saying it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
How is that putting any
doubt in anybody's mind? But when you say when we inevitably meet implies not right now. It'll happen inevitably.
Oh yeah. So like the vibe of it then is just like down the line.
Yeah, down the line, not immediately at WrestleMania where I'm like, why'd you say that? And then when all the women came out,
why wouldn't you just say when we meet in a month?
When we fight at WrestleMania, like nobody thinks Nia Jax is winning. So it's just
I would love to see that, like just the chaos of Nia Jax winning in Perth.
No, you're fine. That's a fun thought because also too that's baked in. Like even if Nia wins and Becky wins, there's a story there, right? But then like what
Nia's
the fuck? What do you do with
dangerous work?
What do you do with the biggest goddamn female star like in the goddamn world?
Have her beat Gunther. I think AEW should do intergenders.
I don't think we should. No.
They do it across the indies. It's like we're pretending already. It's fine.
It's tough to watch sometimes though. Some guys take it a little too far.
Modern intergender matches I think are pretty. It's all flippy stuff,
right?
And it's obviously like it's a stunt show when it's not like when China was fighting Jeff Jarrett. Like
if it's Hurricane Rana heavy, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all that stuff is. Men usually supply a very good base for like Sky Blue to do her.
I'm sure
there
will be a line to wrestle Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Probably because she's just a nice person. But the one thing that stuck out to me here is, and I didn't think I'd ever say this, Liv Morgan had the best points.
Highlight by far.
She had the most legitimate gripes.
Shit I forgot about. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
Like
you're right, Liv.
She should win. And now I'm like, oh, I kind of think she has more to prove.
Yeah, so for the listeners, she just, she got injured and was out for 6 months. So when she came out, she just did a laundry list of all the reasons why, like, we should kind of see her as the favorite. Like, tag champs, last person to beat Rhea.
Yep.
Like, it was just a laundry list. Like, oh, yeah.
And it was very convincing awesome. And, like,
and it was
relatable
really nice
and plausible. Yeah.
You could, obviously, she, like, cared about that. Like, you forgot, but this is what I did. Like, you legit would get fired up for shit like that.
But a more convincing promo was when, I don't know if you know this, but you cannot spell WrestleMania without EST. As if that makes me give a single fuck about you being in the world title match.
I think she could cut a good promo if they let her cut her own promos.
Yeah.
Like she's
really good at spelling.
Delivery that sounds like a person that would be pretty good. Like just if you let him off the leash, let him.
I'm surprised they don't, given that she has a reality show.
Yeah.
You think you'd want her
she was
pushed
a champ
more
for 2 years or whatever.
She did just give an interview which was this partially annoyed me, where someone's asking her about her WrestleMania opponent, and she opened with, she's like, I would like to do the KOD, her finisher, the Kiss of Death, to Nia Jax. She's like, I think that would be a WrestleMania moment. Oh, but yeah, if I could fight Rhea too, I'd like to fight Rhea. I'm like, again, switch the order.
Yeah.
Change the order.
Yeah.
Why are you opening with, I just want to do a physically impressive thing versus I want to be a goddamn world champion?
Well, yeah.
Remember the industry.
Physically impressive thing that I've done similar stuff a million times.
Yeah.
So, I want to face the biggest female star in wrestling.
Yeah. 100%.
Not till second at least.
Just think before you speak.
Shinsuke to Sammy. Shinsuke Nakamura got another backstage nonsense. I like that they let him cut his promos in Japanese. Now he clearly is much better and more believable in his native tongue. I like whenever any company lets people just speak in your own. I don't even need subtitles really.
Yeah, I
get the gist of what you're saying if you say it with meaning and with feeling. And Shinsuke does that, but I don't like the overproduced nature of these vignette things he's doing, and he's still sticking himself to Sami Zayn. I don't want it. Just depresses me when Shinsuke is tied to Sami, because it, like I said last week, it just reminds me of their incredible match and what they used to have.
Yeah, I'm okay with I was okay. I want one wrestler in history to completely be the thorn in the side of another wrestler the entire duration of their career. It's never been done before, right? So if you hate somebody, I want them to hate them. Just once. I want it to happen. It just reminds me of certain movies.
Swerve over Hangman.
But don't let them buddy up at any point. Always hate each other.
Yeah.
That would be, they never do that. They always
I was trying to think of one. I was
Sammy and KO. Yeah. But they were blood
but they
enemies.
Always end up,
but they're buddies now.
That's why I like the New Day so much, because once they formed a group, friends, stable, they refused to turn or whatever, and it's more interesting because you always see the back and forth, turning and the teaming back up or whatever. But yeah, that'd be great.
It's never been done once.
Foil, somebody's career-long
forever.
Foil. It'd be great if Swerve Hangman just did that.
Right.
Going forward.
I mean, here's your shot. They're already pretty embroiled in it, so.
Drew had a backstage. It's Drew. He can't miss. He's Drew. Actually, I wrote down. He kind of has hacked. He mostly gets to cut his own promos. I think this might have been written, but he kind of has even hacked how to make the written stuff sound like it's him talking.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable, man. Everything he does is
nothing but good things to say about him.
He hits only home runs.
Yeah.
We talked about Not Otis, doesn't get to wrestle in Australia.
Sucks.
So the main event was Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Did you try to do the pose?
I did. I pulled it off.
Did you go all the way to your legs?
I may. You may consider it a cheat.
Yeah.
Because I didn't keep my arms rigid when I was doing the bounce thing. I got to shoulder height, and then I shot them up.
Yeah.
And doing it that way, I was able to do 7 or 8 of them or something. I couldn't the whole way, but he doesn't even do them the whole way.
Yes, he does. If you watch him on that rope, he not slaps his thigh, but his hands are going to his thigh and going all the way up he's doing a wave.
For the whole walk?
No, when he's on the when he's on the turnbuckle.
He does on the turnbuckle.
And
but that's only 6 or 7, right?
But so if you missed last week, I said Jey Uso's.
No, I didn't miss it because I tried to do it. After you
I'm talking for our listening audience. If this is your first episode, do the Jey Uso intro pose when he is on the turnbuckle and he's just doing like
his hands
the
up
wave.
Thing. His like his fast
it's
wave.
At the tempo you're supposed to do it. It's impossible.
It's more difficult than any of the like basic ass moves that Jey Uso uses in matches. For sure.
It's the hardest thing he does is his intro.
By far the most difficult thing he does.
Did you? I didn't even watch it.
It was a good match.
I don't.
Gunther's floor is 4 stars.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like it's time for him to move on. I'm starting to see like the machinations are like more visible. Like his matches are starting to feel a little bit repetitive, which they never should for Gunther. They just need to move on. He needs to move up into bigger programs, different kinds of programs.
Yeah.
Jay is Jay. Like the way that this finished, I hated so much because good match. Gunther carrying Jay mostly. Gunther's just his floor is just so high. But the way that it finished was Jay did his super like soft looking splash thing. That's his finish, and the ref counts 1 and hands coming down for 2, and you hear the bell ringing, and then they pan over and it's Jimmy Uso now is over ringing the ring bell.
Did you know it was him at first? Because his hood was down.
Yeah, his hood was it was down.
I didn't know it was him.
I had no idea that. Yeah, but you know what?
Could have been Pat.
Why
Sajak.
was he in the building? God damn stupid.
He bought
booking.
He bought a ticket.
What's the Raw general managers?
Adam Pearce.
What is Adam Pearce? Is a total asshole now. Jimmy and Solo interfered in the first match, a huge match, the first match of the night, and they didn't kick Jimmy out.
Right.
Like what? What?
No, they did. That's why he put his hood down so no one would know it was him.
Oh.
Can you imagine if that's how they explained it back?
Well, yeah, but you know what? That'd be better because they won't explain it.
No.
They'll just like move forward like they always do, and it's just they make an effort there.
Yeah.
Like just have Solo come out and do the run-in for the first match, and then Jimmy can do it for the last match.
1000%.
But you don't put both out there. Both would obviously be taken out of the building at that point.
Right.
And then like Jimmy's back doing a ringing. I thought the spot itself was like I just never seen it before. The ringing the bell to interfere.
I liked that.
That was cool, but like it's dumb to have Jimmy Uso out there after he interfered in a friggin' Cody match.
Sure. I do like the only thing I like about this is it's setting up Jimmy versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania, which
you like that?
It's a double negative. It
like
gets
that.
rid of both of them. No, it gets
Jimmy's like a hair better than Jay in the ring.
I do
not have an ounce of feeling for
no.
that.
I just like that they're eating it. Like they're eating each other. Like I don't want them in anything else.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Like they're like yeah. They can't glom onto any other
correct
performers that I like.
Yeah. So just fight each other, get the fuck out of the way.
Cancel each other out.
I did see something interesting where it was I think Sportskeeda posted an image of Jey Uso could be a Grand Slam champion right now, and Jimmy Uso has costed him every single title match that he's been in. Which you would think in the company that does recaps and production, they would highlight that a little bit, and they probably will, next week or
maybe they don't want to point out that they never do clean finishes in any goddamn match.
Right. Total right turn. Why did Gunther come out to during the commercial break and first?
Yeah,
he's the champion.
Like he's Madison Rayne or something. No idea. Same thought. I'm like, why is your best performer and like historically long time champion who's lifted the Intercontinental title to higher heights than it's ever been before. He gets the job, jabroni, start the match.
I didn't care for that at all.
No.
And also Michael Cole, back to the Usos, referred to he's like, this is Civil War.
Yeah.
They apparently got an Avengers DVD box set for Christmas,
absolutely.
and they
are leaning heavy.
I
will say Pat McAfee's growing on me.
He's back. He just needed to dust.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're fine. He just needed to dust off some of the rust.
Did you see the thing he did with the pen? It was awesome.
I don't know.
The camera cut. The camera cuts back to the announce desk occasionally, and Cole and McAfee will be standing up.
Yeah.
Well, McAfee did this thing where he threw his pen up in the air, and then he was making a point, and to accentuate the point, he threw his pen up in the air end over end, above his head, and then he caught it while swinging his arm across like a throat slitting motion almost.
Right.
And it was perfect. It was like when Roman caught the
what did he throw?
What was he through? It
wasn't a towel.
Oh, microphone.
Microphone.
Roman got the mic from Brock on the front
Effortlessly.
loader. Yeah, it was cool. You know, the thing that I can't of the WWE announce crews that I cannot believe I'm about to say, but it's absolutely true. Corey Graves is a pretty good play-by-play guy. He's way better at play-by-play than he ever was at color.
Yeah.
I like his heel nonsense was trash, so I just thought he was trash. No, he's like good at play-by-play.
Yeah.
And he's doing like a kind of babyface-ish thing now. 'Cause you kind of have to for play-by-play. And he's way more listenable now.
Yes.
So good on them. I think they got the right.
I think they're making
together.
several correct steps, and that is definitely one of them.
Almost all the TV production stuff is going in the right direction. They had a bunch of good camera stuff. And actually, AEW had a couple of pretty decent TV production stuff things this week.
Yeah. That was Raw. Do we, before we get to AEW, do you want to recap really quickly what the chamber card is? Or do you want to do that at the end?
We can go. Yeah, no, we can go through the.
So we'll just do real quickly. So because we talked about all these. It's Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship.
In the main.
In the main. The Grayson Waller effect with Cody and Seth.
Grayson Bloody Waller.
I hate him. Where's he from?
He's from Australia.
That's
why
why
they're doing the Grayson Bloody Waller.
It took me a second. Finn Balor and Dame.
I'm sorry.
You're
I didn't
fine.
Cut you off.
No, you're good.
Did you see Australian on AEW did Knifey Spoony?
It was
loved it.
I saw it coming a mile away.
Me too.
But
sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine. Now I'm just thinking about it. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for the Tag Team Championship. Probably because they're not American.
I think it would be a great match if they wrestled it anywhere outside of the WWE.
Right. Also, not this close to WrestleMania.
Yeah, no.
Because Priest and Balor are not losing going into Mania. So
it felt for a while like they were going to lean babyface for Priest, and then they just seemed to abandon that. Like, he's doing only heel stuff now.
They're trying real hard with him, but like,
what are they trying?
Like they're trying to he's roughing up R-Truth. Like I don't see him as the leader of that group with Balor there. I just don't. I know they're trying to do
neither one of those guys is the leader of the group. Rhea Ripley is.
True. Yes.
By like a long margin.
1,000%. But no, he's got. I don't know. I just see him as like this Hellraiser, like
Wait, am I
foil.
wrong? Weren't they like? I thought they were positioning him for like a babyface turn when like they broke up the, and they seemed to have just gone, okay, no, now we'll have him like beat up everybody's favorite guy, R-Truth.
It was very inconsistent booking for a while, where I didn't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
It doesn't matter. I don't really care about Damian Priest anyway.
You still got that Money in the Bank though. They might be doing something squirrely at Mania.
Well, they have to because it's gonna go away, right?
When
It'll
is
be
it?
the first time ever that somebody didn't cash in their Money in the Bank.
It expired.
Yeah. I mean, if the match comes around again, you can't just keep the briefcase.
Are they going to let him win again just to roll the dice for another year?
Boy, that would be super fun booking,
Yeah,
huh?
it'd be great. The women's elimination chamber match is Naomi versus Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton versus Raquel. What is she, Gonzalez now?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
It should be a decent match, but everybody knows what's going to happen.
Becky Lynch. And then the men's is Kevin Owens versus LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, and Logan Paul.
I think that one can have a real high ceiling. Owens is always a fucking lunatic in these kinds of matches. And
Logan Paul's going to do something wild.
As much as his like regular ring work's not great, he does crazy stuff real well. I don't care. But when Bobby Lashley is on screen, I can't. Like, it's like a Cena thing. I can't actually see him. He's so boring that I just see an empty space. And whatever. He doesn't bring it down that much just to be an empty chamber.
Right.
But Drew's got to win it, I think. I mean, that's what I'm pulling
The
for.
only alternative booking I've seen is Naomi and Orton winning their respective chamber matches, which I don't hate. And also, Seth has been talking up.
Then Becky's not going to do WrestleMania?
No, 1,000%. It's Becky and Drew. But even Seth was just to impress, since they've been in Australia this week, saying he owes Randy one. It'd be cool to see.
It's crazy how much Randy Orton seems to have turned around as a human being. He was literally the dude shitting in people's bags.
Yeah.
And like, worse stuff from like what the rumors are out there about him. And now he's like elder statesman, like he's just trying to do well for the young guys and put people like, it's unbelievable. He was like 1997 Shawn Michaels, and now he's Mick Foley.
Right.
It's nuts. Glad to see it. I mean, I hate him as a wrestler.
It's a little slow, a little plodding.
He's ruined so many pay-per-view main events for me in my life that he is not methodical like Drew.
Right.
He is slow, just super slow, and he likes to walk back and forth in the ring a lot. I wish that changed. Oh yeah, by the way, it was Matt Riddle. It was the name we were trying to think of last week. That just reminded me of like the bad guy that's going to take over in NJPW.
And indeed he did.
Yeah, and he did. But the Randy Orton thing reminded me of that.
I watched Rampage. There was no Collision this week because of the NBA.
Yeah, NBA All-Star Weekend.
Dude, there was so much. There's so much on Rampage. I don't like. I could do a rapid fire of this if you want, but
no, go for it. I watched it. I didn't do notes on Rampage.
So, really quickly, Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a
broken face match.
Yeah, broken face match. And then the wild part was, so Sammy crushes Jeff Hardy's face with a top rope maneuver.
I think Jeff Hardy crushed Jeff Hardy's face.
Yeah, oh yeah, we already covered that. But then like they stop the match, so it's clear they don't stop the match, but like they pause for a second, and then Jeff Hardy gets his head off the canvas, and there's blood on the canvas. So like
everywhere.
He's and then
they did a GTS.
And then they did. That was what I said. Then they did the finisher.
Basically GTS.
The upside down GTS. The GTH. Go to hell. Yeah. Shut up, dork.
That's almost as awesome as Wayne's World.
Yeah. Go to hell. He hit him with the go to hell. I hate you. Stop hurting people. And then I couldn't believe it wasn't just a roll up. Like this guy's bleeding from his damn head.
Yeah.
Roll him up. Don't do a move where you do more anger or more
knee to the face.
Knee to the face. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Whatever. Jeff Hardy's a dick.
Yeah. And then Will Hobbs comes in and attacks Sammy Guevara after because the Don Callis family is going after everybody related to Chris Jericho, and
Jericho,
poor Sammy,
even when he's touring with Fozzy, has to still
being disruptive,
have his big toe and everything.
And then, so it's like a war of the Y2J clan versus anti-Y2J people.
I mean, I'll take a Hobbs Sammy match. It'll be a good match.
Fine.
Like a good Hoss against the good high flyer.
I'm just excited to see how Sammy Guevara is going to ruin this guy's head at some point. He just hurts people.
You say that a lot, but I can't think of anybody besides Jeff Hardy that he
and Matt Hardy. And granted, that was Matt Hardy's fault, where he like fell.
Matt Hardy took less mobility than my 70-year-old father.
Remember when they were in the concourse and he hit his head off the? It was like a pay-per-view match. It
was it like like Anarchy in the Arena,
something like that? It might have been
Stadium Stampede.
Yeah,
thing.
And like his head bounced off the like.
Oh, it was probably Stadium Stampede.
Yeah.
So that was like 3 years ago.
Now that I think of it.
It was like 3 years ago.
I think I'm scapegoating Sammy here. I think the Hardys need to
Hardys
just retire.
Terrible. They absolutely cannot wrestle anymore, and they keep like using social media to like bitch their way into prominent roles on TV. They are awful.
It's not good. They need to go away. And also too, like when he did the what is it, like a 720 or a 900, on Sting on the table, and Sting apologizes like, I should have moved.
Yeah.
Right. So all right, I'm giving Sammy a bunch of undue.
Yeah. Sammy does put himself at risk a lot, but like I don't think he's dangerous. I think Jeff Hardy is just a bad wrestler and bad person.
Yeah. Brian Cage cut a promo, which was.
Brian Cage.
What did I say, Brian?
No. I was not correcting you. I was saying Brian Cage cut a promo.
I thought I said it weird.
As Brian Cage. So.
And he was saying he was just.
You know what you're getting.
He was angry. People were cheering Hook because he doesn't look like a pro wrestler, and he's what a real pro wrestler looks like.
He doesn't look like a person.
No, but fast forward to Dynamite, he dressed like. I loved his outfit, but in no way does that say I'm main eventing a pay-per-view.
No, absolutely not.
No, he was dressed in Street Fighter, Sega Genesis cosplay.
Yeah, he loves his references.
But like, pick a lane, dude. Like, do you want to be a serious pro wrestler or do you want to just have fun cosplaying? It can't be both, because if you're going to have fun cosplaying,
well,
I'm also going to believe that the guy that can actually box can beat the fuck out of you.
He's a jobber to the stars, and I think he's like leaning into that.
It's ridiculous. Private Party cut a promo. They're back doing the same old shit that they did back in the day. They need to start mentioning that they beat the Young Bucks in their first match.
And like a match that put them immediately over with the entire fan base.
And they did nothing, and there's no mention of him having to moan with the Hardy Party anymore.
I mean, I'm glad it's gone.
Yeah,
just
I'm
chill
very,
it. Pretend it never happened.
Dude, Claudio and Moxley cut a promo. Do a second take. If you get a chance to go.
I didn't see it.
It was horrific.
Oh, you know what? I did. Like Mox asked Claudio a question.
What am I thinking?
And then Claudio didn't know what the hell he was supposed to say.
He made a joke. He said something about his wife, and Mox just like motioned to keep talking.
Yeah.
And then Claudio said the dumbest shit.
Yeah, I watched it and my face was red as hell.
It was terrible. And then after Claudio's done saying the dumbest shit ever, Mox is like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, you're supposed to be the guys that people are afraid of.
Well, Moxley usually is good at
Moxley's a good promo.
He's a great promo, and he usually is good at covering for nonsense like that. But Claudio just, he didn't even look nervous. He looked like he was just like, oh, I forgot what I'm going to say.
Yeah, he's just riffing.
Just on TV, whatever.
I'm having a good time. And then the more he does shit like
he's
that.
He's a human horse, it's fine.
Right, but the more he does shit like that, the more I feel, because I never thought he was like a top guy, ever. Even people are like, he keeps proving me right. More and more.
I always thought he was one of the best in-ring performers on earth. Sure. I mean, I was a fan going back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I never thought he was like a world.
But he got
champion.
a lot of support.
Because of his look, he's like a handsome, super chiseled, strongest dude I've ever seen in my life.
And he had a good match with Cena on Raw.
And he's like, his acting is good when it's not in a promo.
Right.
So he could do everything except the promos. The promos,
but even it's
a big part of it.
Even the in-ring stuff, I think he's losing it a little. Maybe
he's getting older, but the European uppercuts still look badass. I mean, we'll get to Dynamite.
Yeah, well, sure. I'm jumping ahead, but just if you get a chance. The Rampage promo, John Moxley, Claudio.
If you get a chance, avoid the hell out of it, because I was super embarrassed watching it. Secondhand embarrassment.
Ruby Soho has a brand new character, which I'm pretty happy about.
And Ruby looking lovely.
Yeah, she looks good. Yeah. She, I guess the Outcasts are done. And then that's where the IC you've played Knifey Spoony before.
Yeah, I love that pairing, too. Saraya has been just murdering it on all her bits and giving her what's her name? I forget her name.
The one that did the Knifey Spoony reference.
Yeah. The performer that was formerly in QTV or whatever.
I can see her
fake TMZ. Yeah. Her gimmick is she's crazy and she carries like a big knife and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they play off of each other very well.
Yeah.
She's funny, and Saraya has been awesome lately.
Right. So Ruby cut it. Yeah, so she's
a little joke. Angelo, the big limo bus or whatever, pulled up, and Ruby's like, "Oh, is that for us?"
That was on Dynamite, but
I got a lift.
Yeah. No, you're fine. But yeah, they're doing. This is something shockingly in companies where really attractive people travel together constantly have no romantic angles.
Yeah.
It's really weird. So it's really refreshing to see that.
I usually super hate romantic angles.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about it a little bit before. But when they're good, they're super good.
Sure.
This one feels like they have chemistry.
Right.
It feels real.
I watched something on
I think I'm just pilled from Vince forcing weird romantic,
it was weird.
Cuck angles.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley and Rusev.
It was different.
Maybe I don't dislike romantic. It's just like Vince.
Maybe you're just a normal human being that likes
not a predator, megalomaniac.
Right.
Makes women's world champion bark like a dog.
Yeah, and shove her head in a bucket.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Yeah. No, it's
just
Vince.
That's your top star.
Vince is a dick. That's all.
No, but this one feels like I don't know. I'm rooting for him. I wanted to go.
Me too. Absolutely.
And they work well with each other.
And nothing. Dynamite. But
yeah. We'll get there. Next, you need to tell me how I feel about this because I don't know. Dustin Rhodes and two of the Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall Von Erich, fought. I wrote who.gives.a.single.
Jabronis. There's jabronis.
Do I care that the Von Erichs are on TV?
No, you don't. I kind of
should
do. Stuss, shout out to this. Cares a lot. He wants the Von Erichs on permanent. But I get why they do it.
Is it because they're
cool.
a name?
It's a cool little thing.
Yeah.
And they were. I think they had AEW or Tony Khan had something to do with the the movie production, but also they just love doing, Tony Khan's the wrestling fan, the wrestling nerd that likes doing like tie-ins to historical wrestling stuff.
Right.
And like, okay, it's Rampage.
Okay.
I'm fine with like
it was a really fun match.
Yeah, it's a good match. Dustin's incredible. Did you see he thinks he's got 4 years left still?
How
he's
old
not
is he
slowing
now?
down.
No,
but
he's
like,
good.
He's better than he ever was
Yeah.
as Goldust. I have no idea how.
I don't know. Put a
Only
mic.
sober. That's part of it.
Give him a mic. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, ride that until the wheels come off, kind
That's
of
what
thing.
he-
But like the wheels are like
What
brand
he just
new.
said, basically. He's like, yeah, unless something crazy happens, I see 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Still.
That'd be dope.
Still, Cody versus Dustin, still one of my favorite matches ever.
It will now be like, can you imagine too if like, hey, I'm in the twilight of my career, I want to go back to WWE and I want to
Yeah.
wrestle my brother at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
And now
They get
now
to
it would
do
be
it
bigger than
for-
ever.
yeah.
Not when they were Stardust and Goldust,
And-
which is when it was planned.
And they got like, they were going to get 2 minutes or something.
Tony Storm did a promo. Sucked. I don't want to talk about it.
Did you say anything filthy? That's just all I'm
Probably.
looking for is filthy stuff.
She did on Dynamite for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I always shit on AEW for not doing recaps. They did a tag title promo recap where they're
They have
kind of
been
like building,
squeezing recaps in.
which is good.
I hope it
This
doesn't get too recap heavy.
But this
I don't want
show-
to be Raw where we go to commercial break and come back from commercial break and then do a recap of what we left from commercial.
That
to
was
commercial
this
break.
show though. This was like half a dozen promos and like vignettes and
The Dynamite, you mean?
No, the
Oh,
Rampage.
because Dynamite was like a very, in a good way, a
Yeah.
very promo heavy. show,
Right.
too.
Uh,
It feels like a build for a pay per view almost.
yeah. Well, I will praise AEW when we get to Dynamite. Rampage is good too.
Yeah,
Queen,
well, absolutely.
Queen Aminata did a promo.
She's awesome.
But they did a promo where they made me, like, I got to know a little more about her. I care a little bit more about the character
Yeah.
now. And then she had,
It was like a little like faux interview, right? Where she's talking about her history.
she's
and-
from Africa.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like, yeah. Which,
By
like,
the way, her headbutt is way better than JD McDonough's.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Drew's, but close.
she's a very good worker because
Oh,
she
she's awesome.
she wrestled Anna Jay next.
Yeah.
They did a spot where they both twerked on each other.
Yeah, I
and
saw.
like, that was my favorite thing on the show.
Yeah.
Good match. It was just a good match.
Anna Jay just continues to consistently improve, which is difficult to do because she gets very little ring time.
Right.
It's kind of still a problem with Tony Khan. It's hard to get better when you don't have ring time, but she does. She continues to get better. And Aminata's like future world champ.
She's really
awesome.
good.
She's
really
awesome.
clean, really
Like,
really smooth, crisp
She's
in the
one
ring.
of those like revelations, like when Kurt Angle first
Yeah.
came. This dude just has it.
Yeah.
like everything he does is perfect in the ring. Like,
totally.
she's kind of like that too.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
had no idea that because they were losing up until this match, but I had no idea that her finish was that headbutt.
Yeah.
that's a badass finish too. Like,
and it's abrupt and it comes out. I don't know. It's cool. It's not some contrived thing
Yeah.
like all the other gals seem to do. Like that's why Anna Jay's getting better in the ring, but like her finishers,
sleeper.
yeah, but like the Dragon Slayer, the Queen,
Queen Slayer, but it's a
she just-
sleeper.
which is fine. Everybody, but it's wild. Like it's the same finisher Samoa Joe has, but it's got
Yeah.
a different name.
And
like,
Moxley.
yeah, they all have the same goddamn
Moxley,
finisher.
well, if Moxley's doing it in a different other position, it's a bulldog. But most of the time, it's just a
it's just a
sleeper.
choke,
It's just
which is fine.
it's
Choke
transmission.
everybody out.
Katahashime.
Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Stokely Hathaway. These again, do a second take. Like run, produce. It was bad.
I like that crew, but I don't.
the promo.
I don't think I watched the promo.
Promo sucked.
Who was doing the talking?
Like Willow was trying to so she was suspicious of Stokely and Chris Statlander's trying to sell Willow on it.
Stokely cheated for her. in
Yeah,
that last
and
match.
she's trying. I don't
She's
know.
goody two
You
shoes.
could tell there's a ton of personality there, but really do a dry run and then hit record.
It was just like actual stumbles, mistakes.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Chris Statlander's cracking up and stuff, and come on.
Oh, she breaks nonstop. I love Stat, but
Yeah.
she corpses.
Just if you watch it, it's maybe
Big
run
Stoke
one in
does
the
have
alley.
a.
He's great.
Yes, he is. Well, he's got a reputation for making people break on TV too.
What did he say that one time? You raggedy bitch or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yeah. Who did he call a raggedy bitch?
I don't remember.
MJF.
Probably.
It
It's been a while since I thought
was
about
MJF
that.
or Hangman, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. Everything he says is hilarious.
And then the main event was the Bang Bang Scissor Gang versus the Dark Order and a bunch of Jeff Jarrett guys.
There's a lot of people in that ring.
There were no entrances, and it was
It would have taken the whole show.
totally fine. And I don't get why Billy Gunn got the heat in the end of that match.
Yeah, no, me neither.
There were
Monty Sop can
do
hit
the
the
math
bricks
there.
as far as I'm concerned.
What is that? 12 guys in the match?
Yeah.
And you can't get to anybody else? Give it to
12
Jay.
guys, many, like
give it to
most
Jay
of
White.
who are pretty great.
Yeah. Give it to Jay White, who's clearly going to be the guy that does something out of
Yeah,
that. Also, I forgot how good Anthony Bowens was.
He's awesome.
Like
we never see him wrestle.
No,
but
they
he's
gave
awesome.
you're like, oh right, this guy can fucking go.
And he's another guy that like started a little bit later in life and like really took to it.
Yeah.
He's an improved, like the year that Jade Cargill like got way better. She was not the most improved player because Anthony Bowens was, because he went from like
really
solid
good
to like awesome.
Yeah, and like him and Max Caster, I believe, like they're starting to get like solid. Like I see them and I go, oh, these guys are going to be a problem for who they're going to wrestle, right? So it's not just like
I just want them a tag team. I just be a tag team.
Yes, like I don't see a bunch of people getting like a ton in on them because they're too good, kind of thing. I don't want to say Road Warriors-esque because that's a lofty comparison, but that's kind of the vibe where I'm like, I'm not going to believe it if they give a bunch to like a job tag team.
Well, also like for AEW, they're bigger dudes. I mean, they're like Bowens is a little short, but like for like in general for wrestling, but like for tag teams specifically in AEW, they have size, like especially Caster. But they can do all the other stuff too, the flippy stuff, and like Bowens like low-key has maybe the best super kick in the company. Yeah, like so yeah, I could see them being like they're very believable. It's plausible that they would be a huge problem for anybody. Like now we don't. But they got to do their three-way or
no, get rid of
three mans and then give Billy Gunn his friggin' hot tag. Ugh.
It did not make any sense that he gets
a hot tag every one of their matches. Why is he the guy? He's like the old millionaire.
It's stupid.
Why?
It doesn't add any. I don't know.
No, it takes away. Actively takes away.
Takes much away.
Not for long though, I think.
No. Well, that was Rampage. In a.
This is Rampage, baby.
Her Saturday night's all right for fighting this week.
On to no Saturday night tonight.
That's okay.
This week rather, but Dynamite kicked off with I think the kids call it a banger of a match.
It was very good.
FTR, BCC.
Moxley and Claudio.
Apparently Cash, because he's going to trial for that gun charge. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
And apparently he was like, oh, I'm just going to leave it all out there. maybe going to jail. I may as well try to kill myself in this match. He was just throwing haymakers, and then he did a spot with Moxley in the middle of the ring where they just started headbutting each other, like headbutting each other, to the point where I think he may have gotten a concussion, Cash, because Moxley's like way bigger than him.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like every once in a while, there'll be a match like this that like really makes it stand out how giant Moxley and Claudio actually are. Right. I always forget that he's like almost 6'4" and Claudio's like 6'5", whatever. And FTR look super short, and they're not really. They're short for like singles competitors, but they're not. They look like little guys, but like little maniacs because they wrestled their asses off and told a great story. Did a nice spot where Dax like kind of pushed Cash out of the way and took the bullet for him. Cash is and I joke about like going to prison, but like is
that a gun charge?
Yeah, I don't know what this whole story is, but it's some kind of gun thing.
Yeah,
and they're going to trial, which doesn't happen for many crimes.
Right,
it's almost never going to trial, so it's probably something kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But Cash, the story he's telling is you tried to murder my closest friend, like, and he's acting accordingly. Like he was a total psycho in this match, but it's like he's going that hard because it is part of that. Like he tried to kill, like, and they put that over on commentary too. Like Moxley tried to kill Dax, so like Cash is reacting to that the way that you would if your brother was like almost murdered by a dude.
Yeah.
Like, match went to a draw. I'm fine with it. I probably wouldn't have put this match on at all because I thought it was a pay-per-view match anyway. Yeah. I'll happily watch it again.
I thought it was going to be at Revolution.
I kind of thought so too, and I was surprised then when I saw it on Dynamite. But like, I'm okay with a draw. Yeah. I'd rather that than a schmaz.
Right.
And I like the way they did it too, like the way it broke down at the end. There, FTR was about to hit the Shatter Machine, and by the way, if they got Shatter Machine back, which great move. can Sasha Banks please have her Sasha Banks music when she comes over? Just copyright on that too, please.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
No, I'll never be disappointed by Miss Monet, but I'll be disappointed that Mikey Ruckus is whatever he comes up is not anywhere as great as that song was.
Right.
It's awesome. But Shatter Machine, they got a hold of that copyright somehow. They just about to hit the Shatter Machine, and bell rang like out of nowhere, kind of. I thought it was kind of cool looking, like it looked real. But they didn't, like a lot of times in wrestling, it's like a video game. Once they start a move, they always finish it no matter what's happening. Well, like the bell rang, so like Cash gave up on it, and then Dax like didn't realize the bell was rung, but he had Moxley up in holding him for the Shatter Machine, and then he had to like transition because Cash wasn't there anymore. And it was just a nice little added bit of realism.
Yeah,
I don't know like what it is about. Like I was so bored with Blackpool Combat Club, and I'm very invested in this like FTR thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's been nothing but awesome.
It's also interesting that they pivoted off of the CMLL stuff.
Well, did you hear the crazy demands that CMLL put in place?
I did not.
So like it's not uncommon for like when they do a side thing with CMLL and AAA, if like the guys from that crew, one of those cruises are on TV, it's like in the contract that nobody from the other promotion. So like Penta would not be able to, because he's also contracted for AAA or like Phoenix.
Yeah.
But what CMLL demanded this time was no Mexican wrestlers, not just AAA. No Mexican wrestlers they cannot be on the show that we're on.
Okay,
bye.
So like,
goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah. We're gonna give you a little rub for your like indie.
Yeah.
AAA is way bigger. Like, no, thank you. And then like Roosh had to go on like Instagram or whatever and be like, yeah, no, I'm hurt. I'm good now, but I was injured.
Yeah,
that's not why I wasn't there, because like I don't get pushed around like that. But like that was it was in place and nobody refuted it. So like it's the truth.
Well, probably why they haven't mentioned it at all.
Yes, and they can go like as much of a hechicero head as I am.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to do business.
It was just nice while he was there.
Yeah.
It was just nice, a nice visit.
Yes.
But they pivoted hard off of that. It didn't mention it at all. And like with 2 weeks of build,
I think do they still have, or did they do it already? The one that's the match that's going to happen.
That's at the end of March.
Okay.
Yeah, with the 4 guys in the Blackpool Combat Club versus
CMLL All Stars.
Yeah,
one of which looks like he's about 70 years old.
Yeah. Well.
But whatever.
Yeah,
we got FTR out of it, and
it was very good.
These guys have incredible chemistry.
They're just. They just put on such different types of matches. Like
I loved the spot where they did the dueling, facing each other, Dax and Claudio locked in sharpshooters.
Yeah.
Like, and then they just started slapping each other in their face to the point where they like let go of the hold because they got so like into the face slapping.
Yeah.
Got so fired up that they just then were like wailing on each other with face slaps. It was a great spot.
Yeah, it was funny. That was toward the end of the match too.
They didn't do many of the sometimes like a little bit grating FTR spots, like the everybody stops and stare at each other in the ring, and then all of a sudden like goes and everybody at the same time simultaneously does the hockey brawl thing.
Yeah,
that just is essentially signaling to the crowd, okay, cheer now, even though you don't really feel like you should. Like this is the point in the match that wrestling fans are like conditioned to cheer. I don't like when they do that kind of nonsense, and they didn't do any of that stuff here. This felt like a real fight.
It was good. It was just good.
Yeah.
And I'm turning on this on Moxley. I'm not turning on Claudio. Sorry.
Claudio is what he is.
Claudio's fine. But like Moxley was so dull for so long that I'm just glad he's doing something, and he seems to like be digging it too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So
I realized I think it's just hard hitters. Like, because remember I mentioned it, he had that like small undercard match with Shane Taylor a few weeks ago, and I was like, that was awesome. All of a sudden, like I hadn't liked the Mox match forever, and just because Shane Taylor like lays it the hell in,
right?
And FTR does that very well too. It works when it's
that's
6'4", Moxley throwing like big haymakers and elbows to the skull of like technical wrestlers or people that are doing lots of lucha stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
it just doesn't feel that good. When it's like Cash Wheeler trying to kill Moxley
Right.
with like full on the chin haymakers.
Yeah.
It's just it's a better match.
It's a better match. Yes. Yeah.
Like styles make fights or whatever. Moxley.
Maybe
sometimes it's brawlers and lucha guys like that mix works for some guys, but like for Moxley really just
it's like the brawler.
It's
guys.
brawlers. It's like
maybe that's why I'm not digging Claudio because he's not. Because like when they do that elbow thing that the whole faction does, where they like kneel behind him,
hammer and anvil elbows.
Yeah, like Claudio just doesn't do it right.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
And like I just don't.
And nobody can do the Bryan Danielson face stomp that you're going to get your fucking head kicked in,
right?
Except for Danielson, they all try.
Yeah,
he's the only one that can do it,
and it looks bad.
Right?
Well,
it doesn't look bad when Danielson does it.
Oh no, he does
bad
everything.
When everybody else tries to do
Danielson
it.
doesn't do anything in half-assed.
I think he's the best.
He's up there.
It's I was thinking about it. I think the top three. It's hard because it's tastes, right? So
top three what?
Top three wrestlers on earth right now. I think it is for me because it's three different styles and they're the best at those three styles. It's Danielson, Ospreay, and Gunther. I think.
It's hard to argue.
And like Gunther, Big Hoss, Ospreay, like wizard from space or something, like magic man, and Danielson just the best pro wrestler that's ever lived. Maybe yeah.
And he's making himself a special attraction, which I like.
Yes, absolutely.
His lack of overexposure makes everything he does seem like a big deal.
I could watch him wrestle every week, though.
But the fact that we can't makes me want to see him all the time.
Sure.
And he's not even on their biggest pay-per-view. Double or nothing's their biggest pay-per-view. But
like as a booking decision, your take is the right one.
Yeah.
Most people are not me. Most people do not want to watch Bryan Danielson wrestle 40 minutes every single week.
Right.
Like, that's just me. I just love watching the guy wrestle.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Last note of this match is I know you like the time limit draw and how you phrased it and framed it made sense. Why they did a time limit draw. I don't want that stipulation overexposed because I feel like they did it with Hangman and Swerve. They did it in a tag match here.
You know what I think they need to do is start doing the 5 minutes remaining announcements in matches that don't go to draws. I liked the Hangman match. They didn't do that.
I think they're doing that across the board now.
Oh, they are. Okay, I didn't notice it.
I think elsewhere. They are.
I hope so.
I could
because
be wrong.
It's a big tell. If you're like doing the 5. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I guess they're going to draw.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think they were before that, but after that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Do the pay-per-view and
100%.
You think you'll step it up for the pape?
For the pape?
Yeah, since we just saw a regular
for
match.
The pape? What, the
2
tag?
out of 3
the tag
or
match?
Something? Yeah.
I don't know. Knowing those guys, they'll do a dog collar match, bull rope match, inferno. I
don't like bull rope matches, but everything else, I'm good.
That's where you got to touch all the 4 corners, right?
Lex Luger needed to win the U.S. title back, but Dan Hansen was not going to do the job for Lex Luger because he had to go back and make his real money in Japan. So
he just wouldn't let him touch the ropes?
Yeah, no, he let him touch the ropes. They had the match because he would not let him pin him.
Oh, I see. That's
so we'll do some bullshit.
That makes sense. I think they're I think after the match, because there was the pull apart, they're going to have to step it up.
Yeah, do something with it.
Yeah. But those are 4 guys I would love to watch brutalize each
Absolutely,
other.
yeah. Like a dog collar match, it gives me a little boner.
Maybe they, I don't know. Do you think they like protect the sanctity of that since that was the Briscoes last match?
Yeah, they might. They're like FTR, Dax is all about his heritage and legacy and like put him in a cage or something. Then they may just do 2 out of 3 because FTR does have a history of like 5-star 2 out of 3 falls.
Because what else is on that card that's going to be fucking wild? The Bucks and Sting and Darby is going to be. But like, so you can't load up, and we talked about this a couple times, where you got a crescendo to something. AEW is not always the best at that. So maybe, I don't know.
This is like, it is a different. There isn't like a bunch of brawlers on elsewhere.
It is a different style match. You're right. Everything else is
not the
actual wrestling
matches.
Obviously,
they're incredible at everything.
Sure,
but but they're great at the brawling thing.
Right.
That's what made this stand out to me.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm all for this. Orange Cassidy cut a promo next, or he was spoken to in a promo backstage.
Yeah,
where they
usual OC stuff.
They ran down his list of accolades, which was kind of impressive. They had
he's unbelievable. Like the work ethic that guy has.
Who's the doctor? Doc
He's
Samson?
the Renfro show with the Michael Oku.
That's what they say.
They talked about it, but I saw him.
Is it Doc Samson?
Doc Samson.
So whoever's doing the backstage interview, standing with Orange Cassidy and Doc Samson. And they're trying to determine if Orange Cassidy's cleared to wrestle or not. And they run down what he has done recently and what he's going through. And they said, Chuck Taylor is out. Rocky Romero is out. After the Ishii match, he being Orange Cassidy, got a spike pile driver. He had the Taven Texas Death Match. Trent is out. Then he did the Rev Pro match in England, and he did a title defense with like 7 guys or something like that. And then he's barely cleared.
Yeah,
after
I like that they did say that specifically. Like you're barely cleared. Right?
So they turned to Doc Samson. Can he wrestle? And Doc's is like, unfortunately,
he's legally stop him.
Yeah, he's barely cleared. And then he's taking Trent's place tonight against Mike Bennett. So
Trent is shoot injured too, which is I guess they had to do a bunch of scrambling for this show because like
Sting's
3 people. And Sting's dad passed,
and they didn't know he. Well, that was a big thing with Ric Flair.
I gotta say. If those were all like quick pivots, I've never seen Tony Khan pull that off smoothly like that before.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like there was a scramble. Until I heard the news afterwards, I wasn't thinking, oh, that felt like a show that was really thrown.
Some of the things felt a little light, which we'll get to, but like to your point, it was a very watchable show. Like I enjoyed the whole thing. But yeah,
Flair.
the Flair. Yeah, so I was saying a second ago with the Sting not being there. So Sting's father passed away, which he talked about in a promo.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, but like the news came out that Flair was only there because he thought Sting was in the building. So he was real salty about that.
So that his grumpy face was grumpy face.
He was on. Yeah, that was he. I'm like, he's not that good of an actor, and then like it turns out he's not.
Good point.
Yeah, he was.
I thought he just learned to be a great actor all of a sudden.
No.
His suit was dope as hell.
It's always dope as hell. He's got that Ric Flair drip. Got that Ric Flair drip.
Ric fucking Flair. Seth Rollins gonna learn a thing or two.
You know, shit. Next is
O.C. Bennett.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy and Mike Bennett. I'm going to open with my big problem in this match. It's just Orange Cassidy and Matt Taven had a fucking banger.
It's just real hard to follow it.
And that was a Texas death match. Mike Bennett had a real hard time in a normal match against Orange Cassidy. And I'm supposed to believe Mike Bennett has any credibility as a wrestler.
I thought he worked pretty hard here. He didn't get a ton. I mean, it's real hard to follow the Taven thing. I honestly would not. Well, they weren't supposed to. This was also an addition.
Sure.
But like, it's real hard to follow the Matt Taven match from last week
then,
with like your partner, and it's not a stepped up.
Then don't have
match. I would have gone another direction.
Just have like another girl, like build another women's feud or something like that.
When you have Orange Cassidy at your disposal,
yeah,
and you lose a guy to injury, your inclination is going to be, okay, this dude who can like wrestle every day of the year and put on incredible like bangers no matter what the situation, I'll put him in there. What I probably didn't think it through that like Bennett's going to have to like, you know, do something insane or whatever if he doesn't want to be completely like overshadowed by what his partner did the previous week. And I did think he tried a couple things. He did the thing with putting the headset on, doing the old rock, you know, talking in the announce. None of it really landed, but he was trying to do something. And he's good in the ring.
He's fine. Yes, he's good in the ring.
I would say better than fine.
Yes, yeah, that's fair. I caught myself there, but they're building this stable up to be actually threatening. Yeah. With the couple of ways they did it. Like Matt Taven is fucking shot to the moon after that. Wardlow comes out. We'll talk about that later. He cuts a lava hot promo, which makes him relevant again. And then Mike, like, so you got 2 guys in your faction that are like, okay, I give a shit now. There's actually some cred here. Yeah. And now you got Mike Bennett who can't. I just couldn't get over the fact that his partner took Orange Cassidy to the limit in a wild stip match, and Mike Bennett couldn't do it in a regular ass match.
Taven's ceiling, I didn't know this before, but like in reading his history, everybody kind of always saw Taven's ceiling is higher. They made him the Ring of Honor champ, I guess, and like Bennett's just a solid hand.
But they're a tag team.
Yeah, but there's always like a standout guy.
But make
Jim
him
Neidhart is not Bret Hart.
No, totally. But they never had Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart wrestle
it was
separately.
Booked stupidly.
Yeah, have Mike Bennett at least look like an equal to Matt Taven. That way you have a threatening tag team in your stable. You know what I mean?
You know what I would have done? I would have scrapped that match altogether when Trent got hurt and give the women another full length match.
Totally. 100%.
I'm sure Queen Amanada's around.
Push whoever the fuck.
Yeah.
Push whoever. Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Whatever you're doing, some Rampage angles that you're not doing. You had a whole collision show.
Yeah, when you have to lost an entire collision.
Yes.
And when you had to change 6 things.
It should have just
do 2 women's matches, but one.
Do another one.
Yeah, but it's fine. That's what I mean. Like
put more people on the card. Fucking Top Flight back on the show.
It's only happened 6 times in the history of Dynamite that 2 women's matches were.
Is that true?
Ever? Yeah,
6.
This was the 6th time. Every other time was Jade Cargill too. It was Jade Squash, and then the then they're obligatory.
So you're saying
so they're actually. I mean, it's a nice effort, but
2 total, 6 times,
6 total.
Yuck.
Yeah. 6
Fucking
total.
yuck.
They've been around since 2019.
That's.
But they're improving. I can't. I used to rip them nonstop about the women's division.
right.
Boy, they are getting ready. Sasha's a big deal. They
Yeah.
hired her buddy to be the VP of creative and like be her personal booker.
Yeah.
Looks like they're setting up the division. Like it was crappy, and they don't want to bring Sasha into a crappy division. So
Right.
like, okay, we'll just fix the entire women's division
Yeah.
because we got her coming. She's a big ass deal.
I'm excited for. We were talking about that not too long ago. The women's division of that company is about to blow up.
Hell yes.
They paid off the Angelo Parker Ruby Soho backstage segment, which you alluded to earlier. That he's just
The little joke with the big giant limousine
that pulls up, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Is that for us?" And she's like, "No, I got a lift." And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
Like very relatable,
cute. Like, yeah. I'm pulling for those kids.
It's
and they
fun.
didn't get like somebody didn't show up at the restaurant and like dump spaghetti
Yeah.
and like whatever on Angela Parker's head. It's just like cool.
It was just
like you said. I'm rooting for him.
I'm rooting
Let's
for him.
go.
Ric Flair got out of said limo.
Yeah, sad boy Ric
Sad
Flair.
ass Rick. And then he was just like muttering a bunch of stuff.
Well, no, I think what he said was great. I don't know if he was being self-aware or if somebody wrote that for him and he doesn't realize that it's like how self-aware seeming it is.
Okay.
But he said, when I signed on here, like I'm feeling kind of down right now because when I signed on here, I kind of expected to be more in the middle of all this. Sting, I'm happy for him and I don't blame him for this, but like I expected to be, a little bit more like in the center of it. Like, yeah, because you're Ric Flair and you always have to be the center of attention.
Right.
And he was like, that's what he was bummed out about.
Right.
So then he's like, oh, I'm just gonna, I'm not saying anything. I got to weigh some options now.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the way this is going. I'm not being used enough.
Yeah.
And then he walks into the office of the EVPs.
Which was
How do they grow new beards every week?
good genes.
It's
well,
amazing.
because they're not growing hair on the top of their head; it's going to the bottom of their head.
I think
Nick Jackson.
Matthew. Who?
Nick Jackson's got a little.
Nicholas.
Pardon me, Nicholas Massey.
Passport names, thank you.
Sorry, Nicholas Jackson. Little bald spot.
No, he's totally bald.
No sign on the door. Didn't like that. That's a little touch. How did he know what door to go to? There was no EVP sign on the door.
Did they open the door?
He knocked. Ric
Okay,
Flair
yeah.
just knew where the
There
fuck to
should
go.
be something on the
Little
door.
thing,
Yeah.
little production
Like,
touch.
I could see them being in a
Print up a piece
hidden location, but then
Yeah.
Ric Flair wouldn't have the.
No.
Yeah.
They're just little things. Print up a piece of paper. So I'm curious where that's going to go. The next segment was awesome.
I do. By the way, I do like
so
this
excited.
combination of Flair and the Bucks together. It just feels neat. I think it's just going to be Flair turning on them to help Sting eventually at the pay-per-view, right? I mean,
I guess.
but I like it. I like them together for now. Like, let them come out and cut a promo
I
together.
I guess since it feels so hodgepodged already. Like, why not? Like, Darby fucked up the promo last week, and
Ooh,
like
but they fixed it this week.
oh, they fixed it, yeah. But well, Sting fixed it. You get the elder statesman in there to actually do the goddamn work.
Well, we may as well talk about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
now because this doesn't matter. Darby and Sting cut a pre-tape, a backstage pre-tape where, Darby started it off, and he basically listened to Dave. He was only talking about stuff that was relevant to this current feud.
Right.
And he was talking about Sting and his sons and showed a picture of Sting with his kids when they were the Bucks kids' age, and Darby brought that up. But it was mostly just set up for Sting to cut the best promo of his career.
Yeah.
Sting, as we mentioned, unfortunately lost his father this week, and he very clearly channeled that into his art because he cut a style of promo was almost like Jake Roberts or something. I've never seen him do anything like this before.
It's very cool.
Staring down the lens, didn't blink, by the way.
Oh, really?
The entire, super serious Sting is scary as hell. I wouldn't do it justice by repeating the lines, but go and watch it. It's awesome.
He did focus a lot on mortality and like.
Yeah, I mean,
he used to think, but no, he's like, I used to think I was invincible.
Yeah.
Like I'm realizing this is my own mortality.
it was all real and great.
And he's like, I don't have what do you say? I'm not invincible, but I'm bringing everything I got to Revolution.
Yeah.
Be ready for the fight of your life.
Yeah,
It's just like, okay.
And
he's selling this really well.
He said, I said I wouldn't do line for line, but like the end of it was really dope. When he's Bucks, you Bucks are in for the fight of your life.
It's good.
Usually Sting, historically would throw a rampant or yeah, baby, to like absolutely destroy the vibe. But this was like incredible. This was one of my favorite promos I've seen in a long time.
Makes me wish he would cut the style of promo as Crow Sting 25 years ago. It would have.
How happy does he have to be that he decided to do this run? Like, it's so different than what his end of his career would have been.
Yeah.
It's just great decision.
And he gets to jump off of whatever he wants and almost die every match. And
what's crazy is Sting didn't do that shit when like I was just watching like Great American Bash.
He's not a high flyer.
And he did not do any of that back then.
No. So they keep ramping it up. Speaking of listening to us,
Danny Garcia,
the next holy Lord!
So evidently, Danny Garcia just needs to be fired up. So Daniel Garcia comes out and cuts just a super babyfacey promo.
Really quick. Every time he talks,
Stockton.
I want him to also say hello to your mother for me. Like he just has Mark Wahlberg vibes.
He's total Dirk Diggler. Yeah.
Say hello to your motherfucker. All right.
Yeah. Like he still sounds like a dumb guy even when he's cutting a good promo. But like it was way better than it was.
This was the best thing he's done since he's been in the company.
Best promo he's done by far. But like, so he's doing his babyface thing. Then Patriarchy comes out. And
really quick,
Christian,
really quick.
Real fast.
They announced that Adam Copeland.
Yeah, what I was hoping would happen. Just like he's on the shelf. I think he probably comes back as a heel and maybe joins up
1000%.
Patriarch. Christian comes out, and I have to start looking up Wikipedias with feuds of Christians before he cuts the inevitable promo. Christian comes out and says, Daniel, I think you're great. Your little groovy dance is cute, and I think you're gonna get there, but you're not there yet. I don't think we should have this match quite yet. I don't want to be your opponent. I want to be your father. And the reason he said that is because he also said, or later went on to say, so I was reading a little bit about your history, Daniel, and are you familiar with the name? I forget what the woman's name was.
Yeah.
So-and-so Garcia that lives at so-and-so address. He actually said the address on here. And Garcia's like getting more and more fired up as he's talking. And Christian's like, yeah, it was your mother. I read a little bit more about your family, and seems like your father was a bad guy.
Said your father was a loser alcoholic who lost his life to the bottle.
Yeah, he lost his life to the bottle. So dead father.
Yeah.
That I wonder if Christian has it in his like contract. He can only feud with people who have lost their fathers.
He tees it up so naturally. We're like,
I didn't see it coming.
I also like, and then you're like, is Daniel Garcia's father dead?
I had no idea.
So
I mean, as it turned out, by Garcia's awesome response, he's dead, and he probably didn't ever have anything to do with Garcia. It seemed like. I mean, that's the vibe I got.
The address too was.
Oh my God!
The address is to a graveyard.
Yeah, it's perfect. Sean Ressep tweeted out right after the show that he did a Google Earth image search of the address, and it's just a graveyard.
It was
graveyard in Buffalo. The little touches are
so Christian's just talking. So he's like, like as Billy just said, I don't want to be your opponent. I want to be your father. These two are fighting at Revolution because Edge is not cleared to compete, so they have put Daniel Garcia into. It's exactly what we were saying last week. Yep. And so they're putting them into the title match. Christian's talking all kind of shit. And Daniel Garcia is pacing around the ring, and he goes full Nick Diaz. Yeah, and he's how about
the Stockton wanted to come out?
Yeah. and he drops how about you come down to the ring, and I'll put you. Wait a second.
You know so much about my father. How about you come down to the ring and I'll put you in the ground next to him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it was the best line he's ever said. and delivered great.
And then Christian was sending down the lackeys. Nick Wayne comes down
I love Nick
and
Wayne.
he throws him in what is it? It's not the sharpshooter. Because he leans back. It's like the
lion tamer.
Dragon tamer.
Dragon tamer.
The dragon tamer. And then so he takes him out. And then Luchasaurus is about to come down, and Daddy Magic comes off of commentary.
So I have a question about this.
All right.
I think I wasn't giving AEW enough credit.
You?
Amazingly.
Wow.
When Daddy Magic was doing his... I thought it didn't make any sense. When Daddy Magic was doing the thing where he's telling Daniel Garcia, you got to stop doing your dance. You got to take this serious. It didn't make sense because Daddy Magic was the sports entertainer guy. Yeah. I think they were just building the father-son thing. Like back then, he was like, son, you got to start taking this serious if you want to be a serious, wrestler. He's looking out for his guy. So like they were setting up Daddy Magic as Daddy Magic like back then.
Ooh.
He laid in those chair shots too.
Yeah.
But like, man, I love them together so much. Like,
so now all of a sudden, the 2.0 guys plus Daniel Garcia, who were just afterthoughts in a... who gives a shit stable with Chris Jericho, they all are doing interesting stuff now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of them. And Daniel Garcia's program with Christian is awesome. It's awesome. And it was natural storytelling that paid off organically.
You forgot to mention Jake Hager with the I'm from Tulsa run at the end of the Orange Cassidy match. Sorry, continue.
Why did that happen?
Tulsa.
That's it?
I don't know why he's wearing sunglasses like Orange Cassidy.
But like, why is he
so
boys with
Tulsa? Is his hometown.
That's really it.
And Tony Khan tries to get people like in their home. He's the anti-Vince. So he tries to get people to feel good stuff in their own
shine
hometown.
Him up. Yeah. So he's not going to do anything probably next week.
He's Jake Hager. He's like fine tag team wrestler.
I'm such top to bottom. Awesome segment.
Yeah, I love
top to bottom. It was awesome.
Christian is in the Drew can't miss category for me. Like everything he does is gold. I love that she's Mother Wayne now too. She's got a big like stoic ass face.
Yeah.
Like your trailer park people that had owned a wrestling school. Now she's like the matriarch.
I'm excited. I want a couple more in that faction. It just feels a little light.
Christian can add 1 million children.
It's a funny sentence. So when Edge comes back and he's inevitably a part of it too, like that's gonna be fun.
I think it's my favorite stable.
Yeah, it's a very hot heel stable. Then they did a backstage promo to pump up the main event with Rob Van Dam and Hook and Adam Page, which was just weird.
It was a little weird. I thought Hangman did what he continued his unhinged kind of thing.
He was fine. He was angry, but like Rob Van Dam, like did he know he was there?
He was making a joke. He was like
we get it. You're a stoner.
It's a stoner thing.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like say and then Hook just said nothing and
still go pretty good in the ring. Like for a
can he ever? My God,
it's not exactly the same as it was in 1997, but like
he did a rolling thunder.
Yeah,
and it was great.
Like most of the same moves.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He's unbelievable. And Hook doesn't talk, so like
no. Tony Storm beat a jobber.
Cindy Winnell.
Yeah,
Tony Storm. My only thought from this half of the 2-part women's segment they did here. I do really like that Tony Storm's ankle lock is now called break a leg.
Yeah, it's clever.
She does a great job, like tying all that stuff to her character.
Right.
I do wish that she would go back to wrestling as like she used to wrestle.
Yeah.
Because now it's so character heavy that I feel like I'm missing some Tony Storm match stuff.
Well,
that
again,
I used to get.
Reinvention. Chris Jericho can take a fucking page out of her book.
I think she can still be like old. I honestly, I'm being worked here. It's part of the story.
Yeah,
it's old Tony Storm.
Absolutely.
So maybe we see that come out.
Yeah, it's just a different character.
Yeah,
yeah. Unlike the Painmaker.
So they did like the back-to-back. Yeah.
So they did a cool thing where Tony Storm was leaving as Deonna Purrazzo was entering.
The production thing I was talking about was this,
and they did the 50-50 thing.
Very cool.
It was clever,
and it was well done too. Like it stayed black and white.
Yeah,
they did half the screen black and white because Tony Storm was one side of the screen, the other side of the screen was in color because that's where Deonna Purrazzo was. And she was coming out for her match against.
It's like a stare down.
Madison
on the
Rain,
who almost died.
So a couple thoughts. What
the hell was that?
This is the worst match I've seen this year.
Yeah, it was tough.
And Deonna Purrazzo's great. So I don't know I know Madison Rain was like hurt. but she wrestled like it was her third match or something.
Right.
It was like watching Renee Dupree, and she's like a 15-year veteran.
Yeah.
She was like TNA champ.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. Maybe she was sick or something, but she was like missing every one of her cues. I felt bad for Deanna Purrazzo. It was mostly controlled by Deanna Purrazzo because the story they were telling was the champ and then the challenger are going to go each take out their opponents relatively easy. But yeah, Madison Rayne kept like botching stuff that should not be botchable, and then speaking of that, Deanna Purrazzo went to do a STO, and it was an STO, right? I think that's what it was.
I believe
it's
so.
hard. It was hard to tell because it got so, and Madison Rayne decided that would be a good time to instead of just doing a regular face bump to try to break her own neck.
She looked like she was trying to dive into a swimming pool.
Yeah.
She crowned herself.
She didn't put her hands up.
No,
even. Like
no.
she just drove her
Totally
top of her head.
Crowned herself. Yeah.
As like hard as you could, like worse than Kenny Omega or anything, because they use their hands to make it look like. But like she knocked herself out because the ref ran right over to her immediately, and she wasn't moving. And then Deanna Purrazzo had to like do the kinds of moves that I would have expected Sammy Guevara to do to Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Like just real basic, not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
And it worked out that she was gonna use the break a leg thing as her finish anyway, I think. And that's a good thing to do to somebody if you don't know if they have like fractured vertebrae.
Right.
Because it sure looked like it.
Sure.
I guess she tweeted she's fine, but like that was some scary like. It was one of those like Buff Bagwell back in the day, I think, when he got hit in the back of the head and then was partially paralyzed or like stone cold when he took the tombstone. Like I thought it was one of those.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, that's a broken neck.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you know Owen Hart dropped more than just Steve Austin on his head?
Yeah.
I didn't know
found
that.
out like this year, I think.
Yeah. I like him.
I love Owen Hart, but why would you keep using that move?
It's a
it's a weird move.
It's a
too,
weird
like a
move.
sit out tombstone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird one.
It was who the hell was it? Not like Steve Blackman or something. It was
somebody of note.
Yeah.
I can't remember who.
It's escaping me, but like
maybe I heard it the same place you did.
Yeah, similar situation though, where like the match had to be like stopped for a long time
According
because
to Austin, he asked Owen to just do a regular tombstone because he didn't think that it was safe.
Right.
And then Owen's like, no, it's fine. Well, he just broke his neck.
No, I'll just make you the biggest star of all time.
Still a great, still.
So yeah, that I don't know, it's kind of a sloppy follow up to
like I said,
a strong build so far.
Madison Rayne, part of it made it the worst match of the year for me out of any show. I do like that they continue the story. Well,
she got attacked afterwards.
Yeah.
So Tony comes back and attacks Deanna Purrazzo.
And it's like they're just continuing that story that they've been telling, which it's
the Madison Rayne thing really overshadowed.
There was something going on with her, man. Like I don't know.
It was tough.
It looked like her first time in the ring.
It was tough. We covered the Darby thing.
Wardlow.
Oh, Wardlow.
So Wardlow comes out and cuts a promo that's where the hell has this been?
Yeah.
For his whole career. Runs down, like very believably, super pissed off, runs down all the stuff that he's accomplished. And essentially the point he's making is it's ridiculous that I haven't gotten a world title shot yet. I should be the world champ. I look like a world champ. Look at me. And he's pointing himself on the Tron. I thought that was a cool little addition, but like he actually ran down. He's like, so you're best in the world. Referring to CM Punk, but he didn't say his name, but it was very clear. He's
called him the real world champion.
Oh yeah, so the real world champ too. I decimated him. I messed him up so bad. He's still messed up right now from what I did to him, which I thought was cool. Kayfabe way to look at that. Your MJF, the guy you love, I crushed him in 30 seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And last time me and Samoa Joe faced off, I don't remember what this was, but
it was the TNT title match.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So your current world champ, I beat him too, and I've never had a title shot, and it was just super fiery, like believable. It's the best promo he's ever cut.
Yeah.
And it's like not only just a great promo, like the delivery, the substance of it was like, oh yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in kayfabe, he did actually just give up his title shot. The one when it was an interim, he didn't want the interim title,
right?
So he didn't do the battle royal thing. But like he's a heel, so that's fine. So, but like it makes sense, and it convinced me of like, oh yeah, You really should. Like, you should have a title shot.
100%.
You're like, your wins are, we talk about weighted wins.
Well,
Those
then,
are
so
weighted-ass wins.
I went online after he cut this promo. I'm like, what is this guy's win-loss record? Like, and I didn't, like, count it, but, like, it's a lot of wins.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he doesn't lose very often. So
I can count on one hand. Like,
yeah. But, like, it just adds more credibility to what he was saying. I really hope this is not a third failed push, because they should just lean on this as hard as they can.
You know, like, I mean, I was shitting on Wardlow quite a bit, saying, you know, they've given this guy opportunity after opportunity. He's had a ton of TV time, and he's never grabbed the vaunted brass ring. But this felt like,
awesome.
Okay, here's an opportunity, and I'm taking
Yeah.
advantage of this opportunity.
100%.
It was great. I feel completely different about Wardlow and his personal investment in his character going forward from this.
Right.
So, like, it was a eye-opening, mind-changing kind of promo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But again, while they're not doing anything with the Undisputed Kingdom, they have two guys that they have made in the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
One guy, kind of a misfire with Mike Bennett, but like, you have an injured leader of your faction, so yeah, build up the other guy. Roderick Strong, like, we'll see. He's probably taking the title off of
if
OC.
Roddy Strong does not win the title off Orange Cassidy after what the story they've told, that he's the biggest loser in all of wrestling.
1,000%.
He has to win that title.
1,000%.
Like, absolutely has to.
Yeah.
He's done if he can't beat OC after
So
this.
by the time Adam Cole is recovered and MJF comes back, if you do this correctly, you have each individual in this faction will now have purpose, and like some credibility and different, like, I don't know. Then it's a bigger ask for MJF to topple all these guys, because they all have
right now. And
weight to
before this week, it felt like it would have been like
who
nothing
gives a
for him.
shit?
Yeah, he's
like run the gauntlet in one
way
night.
more, tougher stuff than that. But
Right.
Like, you're right.
Yeah.
And if it does all wind up like the timing, like
Yeah.
I think that might be deft dovetailing booking.
Oh, those Brits. Don Callis was on TV next.
Was he? He was up next.
He was hyping Ospreay.
So yeah, it's a basic Callis hype thing. Shit talking Sammy Guevara, called him a little cuck, which I
love that. I made a note of it.
I love Don Callis so much. Announced that the Excalibur had just previously announced that there's going to be something called Meat Madness.
Do you know what that is?
I don't know, but it's awesome. Whatever it is, it's awesome, and Big Bill better be a part of it.
Yeah.
I know, but like the announcement was that Wardlow was going to be in it, and then when they cut to the Callis segment, he intimated that Hobbs would be, which makes sense. Meat Madness. Dave, I give you credit for this, by the way.
Yep.
Your crowd was the one that
when I was
the meat.
When I was at I went to All Out this year in Chicago, and it was Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
And every time they made contact, the entire arena chanted meat.
And it became a thing.
And
the
it was
announcers started using it and stuff.
It was very cool.
And now we have Meat Madness.
Yeah.
I was like, don't add any more matches, now, but then it's FTR, BCC, and Meat Madness, and I'm like, yeah, I want those. I want those too.
That's when that sentence right there is that's why I don't even try to explain to non-wrestling fans like what I enjoy. So what are you watching this weekend? BCC versus FTR and Meat Madness? Yeah. They're like, what the fuck did you just say?
It was my favorite. It was my favorite one of all time. It's old hat now, but like, when the Acclaimed first hit big and they were doing the scissor thing, like trying to explain it to anybody that's not just like a lifelong wrestling person.
So there's this guy called Mr. Ass,
right?
right?
Mr. Ass in 1998.
And he scissors with these two guys. Well, what do you mean? It's like, I need 20 minutes of your undivided attention to get through this whole
wrestling.
thing.
You just need to be, or you don't.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely.
You
can't. Main event.
Oh, a couple things I did want to, or at least this one thing.
Not quite main event.
Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Yeah.
They made it very clear that they are going to unify those belts, thank God, and they're breaking up.
There was some mild dissension.
White was like doing, may as well been doing the Mr. Burns fingers.
Yeah.
He was like staring into the camera. They set up a weird match. Like Jay White said, "Oh, why don't we do a 6-man tag? It'll be Billy Gunn, Oh wait, who was it gonna be?
I know what you're talking about.
He threw in Colton Gunn,
Yeah,
as like the extra one. It should have been one of the Acclaim guys. So
Right.
it's like it's just very clear they're turning on him.
Yeah.
this was put together always to get these belts together, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
so good.
Less belts.
This is like it's fun.
Fewer belts.
I got one fun promo out of it. They're only doing it for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
and then they'll have one 6-person tag title, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I also want, I think that the Bullet Club Gold is going to win.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, to your point, have the faces chase.
yeah. And
Yeah.
hopefully it's not chasing the trios. Hopefully Acclaim goes back to tag. I just really like watching them.
Maybe
wrestle
Billy
tag
Gunn
matches.
joins the Bang Bang
Yeah, I was thinking that's a possibility.
or the Bullet Club. And then the Acclaim can be off on their
He
own.
really likes getting cheered, though. So who knows? Billy Gunn's bad vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a chance that we 2 birds with 1 stone, though. I think there's a chance we get Billy Gunn, Monty Sop's ass out of the Acclaimed and
Name like that, you
and
got to
get
be
those
that big.
silly titles.
It's like men name.
It was a Monty Kipsop too.
Sure.
And he went by Kip.
Yeah.
Kipsop.
His parents were
Good thing he
just
was
like, I don't know.
6'8" or whatever it is.
That's a like randomly open a page in a book and point at Monty Kipsop.
Yeah.
Sounds like, I don't know.
Sounds like it sounds like a boxer from the 1920s.
I'll go Monty. Whoa. Oh, jeez. My microphone fell down.
Edit that out.
I got so excited. Well, now I don't want to do it. We got to move on.
You're 19.
We got Monty Kipsop here in the corner. He's a local boy. Fighting for Cracker Jacks.
Monty Sop, a real swell fella.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Don't love him, though. He's a dick. And I would like him out of the Acclaim.
Now the main event.
Main event of the evening.
Hook, Rob Van Dam and Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve, Brian Cage, and Samoa Joe in a 6-man tag. That's fine.
Good match, not amazing.
No.
The one standout thing that I made note of, I really liked, was the Hangman sticking to the story, like as ardently as he does. Every time he got tagged in, he just went for Swerve. It didn't matter what was going on.
Yeah.
And then he did a really cool spot where Swerve was on the outside, but the legal man was on the inside, and Hangman was kind of in between. He could have done the buckshot or the Arihara moonsault to Swerve, and he got stopped, but he went to do the moonsault to Swerve. So like he's continuing the obsession thing. Like, I don't care about winning, just obsessed with this dude. It was a spot at the end that a lot of people thought Hangman got hurt doing. Turns out that wasn't the case, but
They're pissed about that.
Jerry Lynn went on because so Heyman like wriggled out of the Muscle Buster, landed on his feet, and then went to the ground in a way that you would if you like broke your ankle, basically Adam Cole kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was on the outside for the rest of the match and saying, "Keep the cameras off me," like in such an animated way that I was suspicious from the start that it was not a real injury, but everybody assumed it was. And then like Meltzer and Alvarez said, yeah, he's got a broken ankle. And then like 2 hours later, Sean Rossap, Fightful reported like, no, it's, we asked backstage and he's fine. And we were told he's just very good at his job. So AKA it was a work. I did hear later that it might be a work because there's a chance he may have to miss Revolution.
It's got a personal
outside
thing.
chance.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but so if he's got to do something, if it's family stuff, go do it. Like, it's cool. I'm fine with Swerve versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
There has to be that. Like, but it seemed like this was put in place as like that'll be the story if he does miss Revolution.
Yeah. Or they do a thing where he is bullshitting.
Yeah,
takes himself out of the match just to cost Swerve the title.
Yeah,
which I'm fine with.
He's awesome.
There's not many outcomes to this pay-per-view I'm going to be disappointed by.
No, unless it's like everybody starts doing whatever Madison Rayne was doing this week.
Attempting to actively break her own neck.
Yeah, not necessarily the suicide attempt, but like just the forgetting how to wrestle. Like, after 20 years in the business,
it was rough.
Yeah, but thankfully that was really the only like big downer of the night. It was especially considering after the fact, hearing like how much they had to throw together. It was a good show.
Yeah,
like a very enjoyable, time flew by kind of show.
Yeah. Not enough Young Bucks. And
that was a gripe.
You'll never hear me say that again.
But like, I give it. I was pissed off about it right after the show, but then when I heard that they had to move so much stuff around,
right,
that you never know, like maybe they had a segment and it didn't work with the new match, whatever. So I'm okay with it.
But they did.
I don't ever want them not on TV at all. Like they need to be shown.
Well, especially if they're building up to Sting's last match.
Yeah, and at least they did a story beat with it. So I'd rather them cut a promo or whatever. But like they did a story beat, and it's an interesting one with Sad Boy Flair.
Right. Ugh. Go away, Ric Flair. I don't like him on TV anymore.
But then we don't get woo energy.
I'm fine with that. You draw somebody else and put him on TV.
For me, it's worth it just for the suit. But no, Flair can go away.
He can go away. He had the greatest send-off in wrestling history, and he just couldn't help himself.
Oh, that's such a... it's worse than Jordan coming back after he hit the game-winning shot in the finals.
Yeah, and he became
retired.
And he became a wizard.
Yeah, decided to
I'm a wizard now.
Ric Flair has had like 15, 20 years of wizards.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
That's absolutely correct.
And their Bucks are going to do the I love you, I'm sorry, right? Or I'm sorry, I love you. They gotta.
They did that once already, though. Recently,
well,
Matt
I mean,
did
like
that.
tongue in cheek. They gotta do the to Sting. He's retiring.
I know.
They're gonna double super kick him. They have to do that. I love you. I'm sorry.
I guess maybe
I would be disappointed if they don't.
But like maybe do your own shit. Like don't like constantly call back shit.
But that is like a pretty.
Yeah, but that's that.
You only get so many opportunities to retire the Ric Flair's biggest rival.
Yeah.
You gotta do, and you happen to be retiring him, and your big move happens to be the move that Shawn Michaels used.
Right.
Like, you gotta do it.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna do it now that you mention it.
They gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's Sting. And what I want to see is them to do that and Sting then no-sell gorilla chest thing. You know, that would be cool.
That'd be fine. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Sting's no-sells get bigger pops than anything else on any show.
Yeah.
I still think Sting's losing, which is weird. Not weird, but like Sting's promo was so great this week that it made me think, okay, maybe Sting's gonna win because
he might.
Felt like it. I like my intellect still says he's going on his back.
Well, he's an old school guy,
but he did such a great job that it made me believe.
Yeah.
So I think that probably does it.
That's it
for this week. I got a couple of things I wanted to mention to you guys. As always, thank you for listening, sticking with us. We are going to be adding a little bit to the Blue Thunder Pod slate. Probably coming up next week. Instead of once per week, we're gonna start posting twice a week. The regular Friday post will go up, or regular Friday pod will go up with the stuff that you guys are used to. And then in between, Dave and I are going to start reviewing like classic shows, pay-per-views, premium live events, stuff like that. We'll do like
these are still pay-per-views.
Yeah.
They are back in the PPV era,
yeah.
pre PLE.
But maybe we'll do a Great American Bash that was televised or something,
absolutely,
something like that.
Absolutely,
something on the network. We'll probably decide what that's going to be for the first one,
right?
And then maybe we'll ask you guys going forward, what would you like to hear us do? Those episodes are a little bit more comedy centric than opinion based too. So should be fun. I look forward to doing that, and I look forward to doing this with y'all. Shout out y'all, and shout out Nick too. Forgot to give him his. We said we were going to do it every week.
Does he get a type of y'all, or does he have a catchphrase?
No, I just want to mention that I am the greatest bowler of all time.
I was going to say, I think a really nice way to cap this off is to acknowledge that you're a better bowler than anyone we know.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can edit it to here, but yeah, that's how we'll finish this up. Thanks everybody for joining us again. Hope you're back with us next week, and for the classic pay-per-view episodes that we have coming up. I am the best bowler that I know,
and that I know,
and that Dave knows.
Yeah.
and that any of my friends,
Yeah.
in fact, know.
Would willingly agree that this is all factual and tracks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
100%.
Thank you guys very much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.